Yo, 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 yo. It's another episode of the Weekend Rhyme. This is your boy RKY, aka Ron. That is Leroy Green. Sorry for the
What up?
delay. We were times got mixed up. He had some unexpected guests at the Crib, and I'm still reeling from last night. You see, I got the Georgia hat on, man. We had a real rough night last night. Alabama got us, and I'm a
Okay.
little hurt by that. We were up with like a minute left and a minute and a half left, and we just didn't close the deal. We were down by 28 at
Yeah.
one point, and man, I'm still hurt. So what's good, man? What's good? How's your weekend been, brother?
It's early though. It's early in the season. Though. My weekend's been good, man. You know what I mean? Just getting in this hip hop, man. Doing what I love, man. So
No
it's
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I've been using the weekend to catch up on some of my entertainments, and I saw this series called Fight Night: The $1 Million Heist with Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson, Taraji P. Henson,
um,
David Banner's in it. Who else is in it? Terrence Howard, and it's a really good series, man. It talks about a heist that happened on the night of the Muhammad Ali fight, I think in 1970. And it's a really, really dope series, man. Talking about Atlanta, how Atlanta came up, how Atlanta came to be. And it was really dope, man. So have you seen that yet?
no, I haven't, but I heard David Banner talking about it on an interview, and after he was talking about it, it made me interested to see what was going on. But I still haven't caught it yet, though.
No doubt. Check it out. I highly recommend it. It's on Peacock. It's called Fight Night: The $1 Million Heist. It's based off some real shit, as they say, kind of based on a true story.
Yeah.
And it's an ode to Atlanta, ode to that time, and it's really, really dope. So highly recommend it. But we're here to talk about hip hop as always. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. Make sure you get us to that 100,000 subscriber mark so we can have our festival. But where we want to kick off tonight, Leroy, what you want to cook up with first?
I got to get us to that festival regardless, bro. We got to figure out something to get us to that festival, man, because it's just what the game requires right now. I got a bunch of music I could talk about. Of course, J.Cole, he dropped another feature. Method Man. I heard something new from him. The Babies back outside. I got a comparison with him to Luda. Consequence. Ryan Leslie. The Game documentary 3. It's a bunch of places I could go, man. But if you want to start with the J. Cole, I'm here for that.
Let's
You
start with
know?
the J. Cole. So J. Cole was with T Grizzly, song called Blow for Blow. Dropped a couple of days ago, if not yesterday, maybe. And or maybe Friday it dropped. I think it dropped Friday or Saturday, one of the two. But another feature verse from J. Cole. He's talking that talk again. He even says he's the GOAT of the features. And
Right.
so yeah, that had me to thinking, who is the GOAT of features? Is J. Cole, in fact, the GOAT of features? And what do we think about this song? So, Leroy, I'll turn it over to you first. What did you think about the record with T Grizzly?
I thought it was dope. The beat first when it comes in, that's the type of beat that I'm rocking with, right? I mean, well, not all the time, but just that particular beat was dope. Who I think is the king of features? It gotta be Jay. I'm gonna talk about Jay too. He got things going on, the casino, whatever. But I'm not mad at the Cole thing. I think people have forgotten that he was even involved in this beef, and if they haven't forgotten, they really don't care. He continues to do his thing. I think there can be a lane for rappers who are just barring up, right? All they do when they get on the track is bar up, and I think that he's continuing to do that before his album. His first couple lines, he said, "Blow for blow, Cole just prestigious, sweats and tees, no unnecessary accessories. The goat just from features." How many bars is that, people? Most people would say that's 2 bars, right? It's 2.5 bars or 2.25 bars. The reason why I say this is because ghostwriting is important, right? He's not a ghostwriter, but to write that kind of bar, 99.9% of rappers wouldn't write that bar because it 2.5 bars doesn't make sense in their mind, right? So This is why there are certain mechanics when it comes to certain super dope MCs that know what they're doing. They're not writing your traditional way. They're writing outside of what is we would consider a regular bar count. So I just wanted to bring out that detail right from jump. It sets the rest of the verse off kind of off kilter, but he was dope. You know, it's J. Cole. He knows what he's doing. He's been around. Um, I'm looking forward to the album, just like I'm looking forward to Documentary 3. You know what I mean? But I heard some about that. But yeah, I like it though. So Cole's staying on a run. It reminded me of Method Man because I over the last few years I've been hearing Method Man features, and that's why I brought it to you about Method Man. It just reminded. I heard a new song from Method Man too, but it just reminded me of a kind of skill level that Method Man brings. So
No doubt, no doubt. And so J. Cole's been on a feature run for a little bit, and there could be an argument made that he could be the go-to features. I mean, you look at the Secret Recipe. I mean, you look at the Recipe, Looking for Trouble, the one I talked about on Good Friday with Kanye, Ty Dolla Sign, Pusha T, and Big Sean. And you got Johnny P's Caddy. You got A Lot with 21 Savage. You got London with Bia. Then you got First Person Shooter. So, you know, his feature game has been crazy. Crazy. Look at Michael Williams with the super chat. He has an idea. He says, Michael Williams with the super chat says, big as the go-to features. Victory, Young G's, Get Money, Can't You See, Keep Your Hands High, BK's Finest, Flavor in Your Ear, Can't Stop the Rain. Yeah, I would say that could be the case. That could be the case. Hold on one second. Let me do this.
I mean, Big over Jay though. I mean, Big was great, but again, the thing that knocks Big, and it's not his fault, and people don't like my take, but when a person stops in 97 and we're still, and you know, I don't think he got a full run of features.
Well, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Let's talk about Jay, because Jay had
I'm gonna talk about Jay.
Yeah. Jay had Drug Dealers Anonymous. He had What's Free.
He had
song with What's Free with Meek Mill. He had What We Do with Freeway and Beanie Siegel. He had Guess Who's Back with Siegel and Scarface. He had The Best of Me, one of the best R&B hip hop collaborations of all time. He had Black Republican with Nas. He had
he broke the ceiling.
Yeah, he had Go Crazy. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to lend to your point, Leroy. He had Never Let Me Down with Kanye. He had Diamonds and Sierra Leone. He had Young G's. So I think Michael Williams. Did you mention Young G's? Yeah, you mentioned. Yeah, Jay was on Young G's as well. You got I Do with Andre 3000 and Jeezy. You had God Did. I wasn't a big fan of God Did, but yeah, God Did. He had even if we don't go like the R&B pop route. He had Suit and Tie. He had Give It To Me with Timbaland.
You see how gaming?
Yeah, what's that song he had with MOP? He had
Four Alarm Blaze.
Four Alarm Blaze. I mean, Jay got the Jay feature game was crazy. Jay feature game was crazy. Let's not discount what Jay did on that feature joint. You know what I'm saying?
I would say he's the go-to features because you can't buy a feature verse from Jay because there's no amount of money that could pay for that. So when you reach that level to where money can't even buy a verse, just think about what I just said. You can't buy a Jay-Z verse because there's no amount of money that could equal what his value of a verse is. Think about what I just said. So when you reach that status, you got to be the greatest of the verse. I mean, you would have to offer Jay like $10 million for 16 bars. I mean, that's how crazy a verse is from Jay. He can't even charge that because you don't have that. Nobody's walking around with 10 million for a feature. It's impossible. So when you crack the certain ceiling, now people will say, well, why? Is it all about money, right? Jay is speaking in double entendre, right? Behind me, and for years we've talked about Nas. I love Nas. I'm going to talk about metaphor. We know that If I Gave You Power is one of the greatest metaphors ever written. So we'll start there. But when we talk about Jay, right? He's speaking in double entendre. He's speaking in metaphors. Behind me is the cover of his album for Magna Carta, Holy Grail. On one side, you got Alpheus. On the other side, you got another Greek god, Athusara or whatever. But both of these people, they turned into streams metaphorically, right? This is when he was doing Tidal, when he dropped this album. So again, you have Alpheus and Arethusa. Both of them turned into streams. The man was chasing the female. The female, she transformed herself into a river. He also transformed himself into a river in pursuit of her, or was transformed into a river. Why do I say that? Because art shapes the consciousness of our people. Now, does metaphor have a race? No. I'm going a little off the side, but I'm going to bring it back around. Does metaphor have a race? No. Metaphors are not white people. Behind me, you see two white people, right? But what underneath the thinking, who created the thinking of metaphors in the first place, right? So again, when Jay is rhyming on a certain level, the reason why it's impacting, right, is because it's impacting people on a surface level and also impacting them on a subconscious level, because they know there's something going on underneath his words, right? So I just say that to say I think he's the go-to features for various reasons, right? But J. Cole, right now, he's on fire for that, and I feel like it's needed because J. Cole, he could say, well, you know what? I'm going to do all these features to give you the same vibe of what you think would be in the battle before I deliver my album, right? I got this background also to talk about branding, right? Behind me, you see two Greek people, two white folks representing two metaphors, and they got hundreds of those. You know what I mean? So what did Greece do that concreted them in your mind? They did branding. Historical branding is what they did. So I just bring that around to talk about hip hop branding, right? I'm pro artist. I'm pro Ron. You talked to me about doing a label before. I'm pro artist being awesome. I'm pro artists getting what they deserve for their art and living fabulously off their art. So I'm just building upon that right now. But I'm gonna get back into Jay because he got the casino thing going on. I'm just rebuilding a lot of what the A2HH audience stripped away from Jay over the course of the Nas Hit Boy run. But
no doubt. Let me get to the super chat real quick. Michael Williams says, obviously Big wasn't allowed to have the longevity. Verse for verse, no one is messing with Big's feature. Damn near every one of his is a classic. And that's true. I think we had an episode where we talked about that. Biggie's feature game was unparalleled. I mean, he could be one of the best feature artists of all time. Untimely demise kind of muddies the water a little bit. But I mean, yeah. Jay and Big are kind of neck to neck. And let's not discount Cole's feature run again. I said first person shooter, The Secret Recipe, Johnny P's Caddy, a lot. London. This record, he had a record with Future and Metro. He's got a lot of records, man. He got a song with, I mean, J. Cole's got like 40 features that he's on, that each time, even the Janet Jackson song, No Sleep, the remix, you know what I'm saying? So Cole's feature game is crazy. Let's be for real.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely for real. And still here, I see you in the audience. Challenge me with something intelligent, right? Which is where I don't get often, which I'm disappointed in. I'm disappointed in some of the Discord because it's just not intelligent. Challenge me with something intelligent. Does the context of God 1,000 years ago, is that the same context as 2024? So, but again, J. Cole is on his run. These things matter, y'all. These things matter. Myth, yes. Myth is important. I guarantee you that most of you believe in myth, and I could prove it to you, right? But you would rather me tell you that it's based on historical facts so you feel good. And we can do that too, just so you feel better. But it's important for people, when I say art shapes consciousness, architecture also does the same. So with these lyrics, these are phonetic architecture, right?
No doubt. Kendra with the super chat says, hey, y'all. Shout out to Kendra. Appreciate you tapping in with us as always. Let's bring in Pac, Thug Love with Bone Thugs. Got to Get Mine with MC Breed, $1 Million Spot with E40. Are You Still Down with John B? Deadly Combination with Big L, and so forth. Yeah, Pac's feature game was tight.
My thing is, yes. My thing is, I was alive when these features were coming on. So now that's no diss to Biggie and Pac, but I was alive then and I was outside. Are you telling me that all these features hit like that? Because I was actually outside. And that's no diss to them. I'm just saying, if we're going to be fair to all the other artists that have been doing features, was every Big and Pac feature hitting in 90 and 95 and 96?
Well, Biggie was hitting almost at, if you're talking like at a baseball average, he was hitting like damn it 80%, 90%. Let me get to the super chats real quick. We can continue on a narrative. Pac did have some dope features too. Lord Chai with the super chat says the feature king is cocaine. Okay, Michael Williams with the super chat says you have to mention Nas too. Let's not forget 95 alone. He featured on Fast Life, Verbal Intercourse, Eye for an Eye, More Money, More Murder. Yes.
Again, I was outside when Nas was dropping these features. Are you telling me that these features had the same impact of a Jay-Z feature? And I'm not talking about in 95. I'm talking when we talk about the 2000s. If Jay-Z gives you a feature, it's going to hit. It's almost as like almost as if M gave it to you. It's going to make you have a core audience. If you have a Jay-Z feature in the 2000s, it's going to give you a core audience. Are you telling me that in 95, 96, that Pac, Big, and Nas have the same weight as a 2000s Jay-Z?
Well, I don't know if they're talking about weight for per se. I think
we're talking
about like, say, the Mary J. Blige song, right? Even the Total joint. You know what I mean?
Now Big was the flagship artist of Bad Boy.
Yeah, Super Cat. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So Biggie's feature game was kind of the 112 feature. You know what I'm saying? His feature game was kind of, it's out of sight. You know what I mean? I mean, Biggie. Yeah, it was. Culturally, there's impact of Biggie. You still, if you were to go out to this day, you still gonna hear the Real Love, remix with Biggie on it, right? You're gonna still hear the Total joint. You're still gonna see the One More Chance joint. You're gonna hear the 112 joint. You're still gonna hear these Biggie features to this day.
Okay, so
features kind of went to the wayside. You might hear The Best of Me. You might hear Guess Who's Back with Scarface and Beanie Siegel. You don't hear What We Do. But as far as like the generational impact, as far as longevity goes, I think Biggie's features will have more longevity, in my opinion.
So Biggie's verse has the same impact as a Jay features verse to people out there. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is, I don't know what the people are saying. Y'all can chat on the chat. I'm saying that Biggie's feature game had a little bit more longevity. Michael Williams with the super chat says, Leroy, you're talking about two different things. I'm judging the quality of the features, not the impact. Reasonable Doubt didn't have the impact when it dropped, but people judge the quality of the album.
So Jay-Z is not quality.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I don't think they're saying that, Leroy. I think they're saying is that Biggie's features have more longevity. I think that's what they're saying.
If what I'm saying does not equate to fact still here, then offer me something intelligent other than your bullshit that proves me wrong. Now, Biggie was the flagship artist of Bad Boy. So when you're telling me his verses have impact or his verses was a thing, I'm not mad at that, because when you're the flagship of an entire label, you best believe your verses have no choice but to have impact. Okay? But when we're talking about Jay, we're talking about 30 years of a certain impact of verses. Now you're telling me what Big was able to do in 96 equates to Jay's 30 years of impact. Is that what we're saying?
No, I don't think they're saying that. I think what they're saying, I don't know what they are saying. I can speak to what I am saying. What I am saying is that Biggie's verses, his features, even though I think I have Jay higher than Big on my all-time list, I think the size of Biggie's features and the grand scale of Biggie's features to this day have more longevity than some of those features that Jay did. I'm not saying those Jay verses wasn't dope. I'm saying that to this day, we can go out in Miami, Atlanta, Oakland, Los Angeles, go to any urban club, and you may hear Biggie features. Those early 2000 features, we're not going to hear them Jay features like that. I think
Okay,
they have
so
some staying power, those Biggie features. That's what I am saying. And I don't know what the audience is saying, but that's my opinion.
okay, so as a black person, I can't argue versus anyone that died because that's against black culture. So if I have a different opinion, I can't argue it because we don't disrespect the dead. So what Biggie did in the mid 90s is equal to what Jay did the last 30 years. I have to just say, okay, because I'm not allowed to argue someone that has passed in black culture. Okay, because we don't do that. So that's the brick wall that is with that theory. But I
No,
was
I think you can argue because we got me and Mike, me and you can argue this too. I mean, me and you can argue this. I don't know what your opinion is. 'Cause I didn't haven't cooked you up on this yet, but I will cook you up if you have the wrong opinion.
well,
We can argue about we can argue about Prince and Michael Jackson to the cows come home. They both have unfortunately met their transition and transitioned on. But I'm of the argument that Prince is was much better than Michael Jackson. Others have a different opinion. They both have long died, but I guess maybe your argument is someone who's dead versus someone who's alive. Let's, for example, to take your point, no one would argue that Big L is better than Jay. I mean, Jay is Jay and Big L is Big L. No one would argue that. Who else would that Pac is not better than 21 Savage? I mean, not saying I'm comparing the two at all, but we would say that, and even the Common and Pac argument, I would say that Pac is better based upon his catalog in a short period of time. But what I'm saying is that look, we can compare people that transition. Let me get to the super chats real quick. Michael Williams says, Leroy, I'm responding to you saying that Nas 95 features didn't have the impact like that. I'm talking about the quality of those features. They're all elite.
okay.
OJ West
I
said
never
Flavor in Your Ear is better than any J feature. Go ahead, Leroy.
the quality argument doesn't make sense because then you have to qualify why Jay is not quality. So the quality argument doesn't make sense. Again, I'm not talking about quality. Again, I was outside when these features came out. I can tell you whether they impacted the street or whether they was just a cool song. Right? Now, again, when it comes to our culture, is Biggie and Pac dead? No. Because in black culture, nobody really legends don't die in black culture. They're still here. So Biggie and Pac are not dead in black culture, right? So, and whether people want to admit that or not admit that, Biggie and Pac are not dead in black culture. They're still there. They're still here. So I can't say nothing about what they've done, but I would say someone like Jay-Z, right? Being that he'll never win a Pac because he's not dead. Jay-Z would have to die first physically in order to win that argument. So he's not going to win. But I would say 30 years of a certain feature impact over, I could name 100 features of him that had impact versus what was done in the mid 90s is not the same equivalent to me. Respectfully.
Right.
Okay.
Michael Williams is chiming in. He says, I never said Jay isn't quality. All I did was mention Nas and Big for consideration as an all-time great feature artist.
Okay, so then your argument doesn't make sense because you're saying Nas is quality when I never said Nas wasn't quality. So you're saying what doesn't have to be said. Tell me something that has to be said. Okay? Because again, Jay is always pitted against people that are not here, which is that I guess that's just a fight he's going to have to undertake, right?
No,
Which
he's pitted against Nas. Nas is here. Nas
he's
is
pitted
here.
against Nas. He's
And
pitted
Wayne. And some people can say Wayne. You know what I'm saying?
I think I got Nas number 2 as my greatest of all time because I value what? Lyricism, right? Does not Jay occupies 2 lanes. He occupies the mainstream lane and the underground lane. Because the underground, when I say underground, I'm speaking to lyrical heads. Nas occupies both lanes as well. But does Nas occupy the same weight in the mainstream as Jay-Z? The answer is no. So when we act like that, when we act like the argument makes sense, we're doing a feel-good exercise on what feels good. When we know for a fact that they do not occupy the same weight in the mainstream. According to who? You can do your Googles. Do your Googles. Now, if Nas equates to the same weight as Jay-Z commercially, then do your Googles and show me where you see that. Right? And I love Nas. Again, I have Nas at number 2. Why? And I probably know Nas's lyrics better than you people talking. And if you want to try me, try me. You know what I mean? But I'm here for the smoke today. I didn't plan it, but it just pops up, man. But what I'm saying is, this is why I don't always like to just compare people. I like to just the artists just to stand on their own and just talk about the artists on their own. Because if I have to go against Tupac and Biggie, two people that are no longer here, regardless of what I say, I'm disrespecting the dead. As moment I say they're not the greatest, I'm disrespecting the dead in Black culture. You cannot.
No, I disagree with that, Leroy. I don't think I think you can say that Tupac. I think a lot of people don't have Tupac number 1 or Biggie number 1, and I don't think people say it's disrespectful. I think people just having an argument about who they think is the best overall lyrically. Some people have Jay-Z number 1. Some people have Nas number 1. Some people have Eminem. I don't know why they have Eminem number 1, but some people have Eminem number 1. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's. I think there's a small percentage of the hip hop populace that would just have them because they're dead. I think they're really taking the music into account, right? You know, again, I always make this argument on this platform. I was always, when I was younger, I used to always be like, big smoking pot. You know what I'm saying? But as I got older and I started revisiting somebody like Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me, even Machiavelli, and you know, I started listening to more, you know, getting more and more pot. Then I was like, I'm listening to Pac more as opposed to Big. But that's just me as I got older. Michael Williams with the super chat says, when I first mentioned Nas 95 feature run, you said you were outside and it didn't have impact like that. I don't know what you're confused about.
I did not say it didn't have impact like that. First of all, create a good argument. Again, the arguments that I hear here are not very smart. Sorry, I'm just going to be mean today. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is the equivalent of impact. You are comparing a Nas feature to a Jay feature. In your mind, they are the same equivalent. Now, I'm saying if you believe that to be true, I'm saying you're wrong, right? When it comes to music, if you're going to make a musical argument, the word there is music. Take lyrics out. You're telling me that the music they rhyme to are better than Kanye West, are better than Pharrell, are better than Timberland, are better than Just Blaze, are better than Dr. Dre. Because we're saying music. So we put the lyrics aside. Musically, those are the superior music in the last 30 years.
I don't know. That might be another argument. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says Jay is my favorite rapper, and I don't have Jay number 1 on the features list. He had the impact, but not the greatest quality wise. Shout out to DJ Bruce Almighty. Appreciate it.
Who is the judge of quality in hip hop? What's his name?
I think time is the judge of quality. I think time would be the judge of quality. If you still revisit records, or if people are still revisiting records long into the future, like for example, Jimi Hendrix. People still listen to Jimi Hendrix records, Prince records, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke. You know, I think time tells the quality. They're not listening to Milli Vanilli or MC Ace of Base, or you know, who else? Vanilla Ice. I think time is the judge of quality. That's my opinion.
Okay, and I respect that. So nobody is the real answer is nobody is the judge of quality in hip hop. So when we make quality arguments, let's keep in mind that nobody is the judge of that here. Okay, and if we're making a quality judgment and we're talking about Jay-Z of all people, you're going to have to make the argument that Jay-Z is not quality. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, because if Jay-Z went outside right now and wanted to put on a concert or whatever, I'm sure people would be wrapped up around the block. So how's that for time? Okay, and it's not just him. It's for all the greats. Now you're saying I'm arguing popularity. Would you like me to talk about bars when it comes to Jay-Z? This argument was raised before. If we talk about bars, you'll lose there too. Trust me. You'll lose. You'll just lose there too. Jay is no slouch. Line for line, there are multiple skills he's employing every time he steps to the mic. Okay?
No doubt. Michael Williams with the super chat says, Leroy, I don't know what you're talking about. I was initially arguing anything. All I said was Nas is one of the greats when it comes to features. Michael Williams, if you have a moment, maybe we'll drop the link. Maybe you can call in. I don't know if you're in a position where you can call in or you're watching a football game, whatnot. But we would love to have it. Sometimes the arguments are not conveyed best through text messages. That's sometimes I tell people, man, just call me. Don't text me because I can't communicate the way I need to communicate sometimes via the text, even though I'm tight with the written word and the spoken word, just the same.
Okay.
I just ran up the steps. I'm so old, man. I'm getting old, man. I just went up the steps. I'm in the basement.
I'm going to move on because no matter what, people are going to make quality arguments that don't make sense, right? Because that's all I've never heard a good argument from someone saying that Jay is not quality. I've never heard a good argument in life. So other than, well, he makes popular music, so he must be trash. Again, if that's your best argument, hey, before I get into album reviews, I got Consequence, I got DaBaby, and I got a comment on Ryan Leslie, right? But I'm gonna go into another thing that has to do with Jay, and we can still talk about the lyrics if you want, right? And another thing, the Leroy is dumb. So the notion that Jay's music is dumb, that's also brought up a lot. Like Jay-Z's just not intelligent. That's up for y'all, right?
No, I mean, again, I think it's a very small percentage of the community that's going to say these things. I haven't heard. What I have heard about Jay is that Jay hasn't made a quality album in a while. I've heard that Jay's, the last 10 years of Jay's career hasn't been up to par for the previous 20. That I've heard, you know what I'm saying? But I haven't heard the argument that Jay is trash or not quality or not a dope MC. I haven't heard that. Maybe someone else has said that, but I haven't heard that real quick. Lord Chai with the super chat says Jay uses Big's lyrics and verses. I haven't really heard that much. And then also DJ Bruce Almighty says, Leroy, it's all subjective. I started by saying Jay is my favorite. He's the GOAT in my opinion. In my honest, unbiased opinion, he didn't have the best features. Those are arguments that I've heard.
How old are you? If you're an adult, is music subjective if you're an adult, or is there some things that you have found to be a fact? Once you reach a certain age, it stops being subjective. Now, if I listen to a God did verse, right, and I say there are double entendres in there, is that subjective or is it a fact? It's a fact. Why? Because I'm not using subjectivity to make that argument. I'm using written fact. So if you're of a certain age, music is no longer subjective. It's a fact. Okay? So let's stop using the subjective argument. Now, if you're a kid, it's subjective because you don't know what's going on when you're listening. You don't know. But when you're an adult, the music is not subjective. There are facts involved. Okay?
That's an interesting take, Leroy. Let me get to a super chat. Michael Williams says, Leroy, you're making up straw man arguments for no reason. I have Jay over Nas when it comes to features. All I said is Nas is also one of the greats.
But we know Nas is great already. So again, you're telling me some basic stuff like Nas is a great. Okay, well, we kind of know that is all I'm saying, right? But I'm gonna move on from this because there are others. There's more important things I got to get off than a lot of your weak arguments, because that's what a lot of them are. Respectfully, a lot of them are weak arguments. Now with Jay, a lot of them are. I'm not going to be nice today, right? Recently, Cam said a few months ago that Jay is more of a business guy and Nas loves the craft. Is there anybody that has ever met a rapper that just wants to rap for the sake of rapping? I'll wait.
What do you mean by that?
Is there anybody who has ever met a rapper? I believe that all rappers are businessmen. Now, if I'm wrong, can someone name somebody who is rapping just for the sake of rapping and wants nothing back? I'll wait.
Well,
I'll wait.
I think a rapper sometimes you might be on a corner, you might be in a cipher. Everybody not looking for a deal. They just rap for the sport.
Okay.
There could be some folks. You talking about mainstream? Are you talking about mainstream hip hop artists that have a record contract? Yet
I
they want money in exchange for their services because they're an employee at that point. They're contractually obligated to make music, to
okay.
sell music. It's a commodity at that point. So so every rapper wants to get compensated for their services. They either go to a show, unless you're an independent artist and you go to do. Hold on, the super chats are flowing in tonight, man. Let me just get a couple of these super chats so we can have a conversation. DJ Almighty says you sound crazy. I don't know if you're talking about me or Leroy. Both of music will always be subjective unless you're talking about sales and awards. Who's the best or most impactful will always be subjective. Next super chat is Michael Williams again says, Leroy, you're being deliberately dense. I'm not arguing anything. All I did was highlight Nas at 95 to send a super chat and show some support. Shaking my, and we appreciate your support, Michael Williams. I know you may not be liking what Leroy is saying, but we appreciate your support. We appreciate everyone's support. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Get us to 100,000. So, Leroy, do you want to respond to the people?
Yeah. I would respond with I appreciate your support with the super chats and all that. But again, those arguments are very light for me. Aside from you, the other people that are making personal attacks at me, keep that same energy outside. I hope to meet you people one day, and you keep that same energy. Promise you. Okay. Now, on the other end, again, I'm talking about certain equivalencies, right? Now I'm going back to my point. When we talk about as soon as you put your music out for sale, you are in business, which makes you a businessman. Are we clear on that? Or do we think that rappers are somehow not businessmen, and they're just rapping for love? Are we clear that once they set their music for sale, that they are businessmen, MCEOs? Are we clear?
Well, I don't know if they're CEOs, but I think they're in business, and they're business, and not all. I mean, some people. I mean, there's been famous examples of some rappers being taken advantage of in their deals. They get the advance, they understand the contracts. I can't say that all rappers are businessmen, but I can say that all rappers, when they commodify their work, they are engaged in business activity. And I think there's some unscrupulous businessmen, from agents to A&Rs to record label execs, to take advantage, or managers to take advantage of these artists. So yes, so they're engaged in business, but I wouldn't say they could be businessmen, but I don't know what the percentage. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them are just artists some of them are just employees. I heard a story about Rich Homie Quan. He didn't want to blow through his advance. He knew that he would blow through it. He was like, yo, just pay me $300 a week. You know what I'm saying? So he was pretty much an employee at the point. So it's hard. That part is subjective. We don't know if all artists are businessmen, but I get your point. I get your primary point. You are engaged in some type of business where you are in a record contract. So I do get that point.
Okay, so I'm seeing somewhere you are a failed rapper, Leroy. Okay, yes, I'll wear that, right? I'm a failed rapper, right? Because a lot of MCs, you're afraid to wear that. What you don't know is these other people calling you a failed rapper, they have never tried to do anything putting their own money on the line. They are workers. You tried to step out and bet on yourself. So, you know what I mean? We need to look at things in a certain way. Right?
People be trolling here.
No, I'm with that. I'm with. I mean,
funny. I don't mean to laugh.
I would knock one of these people out, if not worse. If not worse, honestly.
It's funny though, it's kind of funny because it's like people have different opinions about people. It's just it's like funny. It's like the comedic timing of some of it. It's kind of funny, you know. I laugh because people say things about me on here that's just so crazy. Somebody called me It's like somebody call me Braxton from, they don't even know me. They call me Braxton
No,
from
I
the
mean,
Jamie Foxx show. It's funny because they have no idea who I am, what I'm about, but they just, it's just the internet and YouTube space is funny. That's why I have thick skin.
they don't understand anything. They've never tried to push a line for nothing. They never owned nothing. They never employed nobody. They were never signed any deals to deliver no talent for nothing. So they're running their mouth to a real nigga that'll put their head in the sand quickly.
Well, we don't want to say those things on air because our sponsors could be watching.
Yeah, for the sponsors, right? The reason why I'm saying this is because I see the music business is collapsing, and I know that there are artists, there are a community of people out there involved in music and the culture. They want to eat, they want to get their money, they want to live successfully. So if I have to go out here and go over the hill, take the arrows, come back over the hill, and say, okay, look, this is what we're gonna do, then I got too much heart. That's what I got, right? So listen.
It's funny to me, man. All of it.
Listen.
With the super chat, yo,
yeah.
Who are you guys' top 5 feature artists? That's a good question. Can I answer that? Let's answer that. Okay. Top 5 feature artists. Me. I'm not gonna. You put me on the spot, so I can't go in order. I want to say I got J.Cole on my list. Honestly, I can't. I got to be for real. I mean, this guy's been doing features for about 15 years. You may not like him, but every time your girl goes out to the club and takes a girl's trip, I'm quite sure she's listening to it, unless she's listening to Rhapsody or she's listening to some old school Lauryn Hill, or she's a conscious female. She's probably listening to some Drake features. So I got to keep it a buck. So I'm going to say J. Cole, Drake. I'm going to say Lil' Kim, Benjamin's, our feature on Mobb Deep joint, I gotta say Kim. Another feature, I'm gonna say Big, and then I'm gonna say Jay. So say J. Cole, Drake, Lil' Kim, Big, and Jay. Top 5 feature artists.
Yeah,
Leroy, you want to chime in on that?
I can't argue with Drake. I can't argue with Jay. I got Method and Busta in there as well. So I got 4. Maybe I'll do Wayne. So that's 5. So Jay, Method Man, Busta Rhymes, Drake, and Lil Wayne. Just off the top.
I'm gonna say honorable mention Lil Wayne, and I'm gonna say honorable mention Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne's feature game is crazy. So
right.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going back to a certain thing, right? If you have not failed at nothing, don't talk to me about winning, because I know you ain't won nothing. Because you never won nothing without failing at something, because the failing is what got you the win ultimately. These are the truths that you are not going to hear from everybody living in fantasy land, acting like the 1%, the 1 of 1% that makes it is the defining metric for everybody else, right? Which it is not. So I just wanted to make that point, because I'm gonna go from here because of where the state of the industry is at. There are people leaving labels, there are people going into a more independent route. Again, I'm pro artist. I want to see the artist win, right? So there are ways that when Jay is often called a wave rider, right? So what I'm trying to do is generate a wave. Then we're going to get into the casino business quickly. Well, maybe I'll go opposite. Let me get into the casino thing first.
Before you go, I love casinos. I can talk about this all day. Go ahead, Leroy. Go ahead, Leroy.
Casinos are cracking. Okay, the vibe in the casino, I'm rocking with it. I've had great times at casinos. Now I'm not the biggest gambler. I get down, you know what I mean, but I know what I'm doing. But I've had fun in casinos. I'm not mad at casinos, right? People, they look at the gentrification angle, right? So what exactly is gentrification, right? When it comes to Jay and his business moves, etc. Gentrification is when you take a neighborhood or a geographic location, you create a want or incentive for businesses to come into that area and set up shop, open stores, etc., right? So What people believe is what Jay-Z does, they are not capable of doing, because they say, well, Jay has money and I don't. So that must mean Jay can do something I can't do. I would like to just tell everybody, right? When you go to your city council meetings and all and stuff like that, and you meet people, there are people where you're from, other black people that have money as well. Now they don't have money like Jay Z have money. I'm not making that equivalent. But what I am saying is there are certain areas in your neighborhood that you can fix up. Now people would say, "Well, fix up." I'm not a construction person. I'm not a painter. I'm not an electrician. I'm not all these things, right? Well, what they do is they hire the workforce to go into these areas and fix them up. So when you're dealing with your city, you're dealing with people that are the movers and shakers of your landscape, right? Of your economic landscape. We should be a part of these things, right? Because then you can capitalize off people that you go into business with who have taken a block or two or three, have restored these areas into where businesses see, okay, this is a nice area. I got in each direction, I have a little bit of traffic into which I can make money. And then we can also participate in the restoration of our own neighborhoods. Again, people are going to shoot that down because you have an Afrophobia. When you see a black man suggesting something that is for the upliftment of other black people, that rubs you the wrong way because you're half man, half crab. That's so you don't like the sound of a black person telling you there are ways that you can prosper and capitalize off your own circumstance, right? So that's one thing Jay-Z does. Second, wave riding. What is a wave? On in the pod space, and shout out to one of my someone who I just got a text message from, someone who I look up to in this pod space, who is a major factor, who may have me gassing a little harder after I made contact, right? Our job in the pod space is to create a wave that artists can surf and ride to the promised land. What is a wave? A wave starts under the water, it breaches the surface of the water, and it's a wave, and people surf it, right, to get to land. If you don't surf a wave, what happens? You get wiped out. This is why Jay-Z rides. I don't think he's a wave rider like people. I think Rockefeller is something that rappers didn't do. I think Hard Knock Life was something rappers didn't do. I think signing Kanye and Just Blaze are something rappers didn't do. I think creating Tidal is something rappers didn't do. I could go on and on and on. But since people think he's copying everybody else, we'll call it wave riding, right? Well, when you're riding a wave, that's for a purpose, right? So I'm talking about a wave of business, hip hop merging with tech, right? And that's what Magna Carta Holy Grail did in its first, when it was first coming out. You download the app on Samsung, you get the lyrics from the album. Every day he releases new lyrics and new artists. I'm trying to tell you, because the labels aren't going to be there, right? So, as an artist, your job is to get to the money, right? So, when Jay dropped the album Magna Carta, right? Oh, hold on, Magna Carta. For the first couple of days, he released lyrics through the app, right? And the album was supported by also the tour. He released the lyrics, and then on the last day, released the cover art. This is leading up to the music. We've been talking about Puff too. The first song, Holy Grail, has a lot to do with the traps of the business, right? So I'm gonna leave it there, right? And again, now people are gonna say, well, the album wasn't good, but you also said music was subjective. So which one is it? I'll wait.
Well, it could be subjective, but also if the consensus, if you poll nine
Oh,
out of ten Jay-Z, if you poll 9 out of 10 Jay-Z fans, you ask them, was Magna Carta Holy Grail a good album? what would the data say? I think the majority would say, it was cool, or it was like, it was all right,
You think majority? You think the majority is what the word you use was majority. You think the majority of J fans is going to say that's a bad album?
If I were to take an unscientific poll, if I were to poll it right now just poll it with this audience, right? And some of these people in our chat say they got Jay's number one. I would say is Magna Carta a good album or a bad album? I think the majority of people would say it was a bad album.
Okay. Still here. Your mother. Okay, that's where I'm at tonight. Now, as far as the majority of fans, I don't know if the majority of J fans would say this is a bad album, but we could go song for song. Holy Grail, Timberland on the beat. Is Timberland really bad at making beats? I'll leave that up to y'all. Picasso, again, that deals with the artist's physical body being the art. Again, people look at music as if it's just representative of one person. So Jay's music is representative of only Jay-Z. So the lyrics don't apply to other artists. No, Jay makes lyrics that apply to other artists.
Right, but Picasso, he had a demonic video with that witch.
And I'm gonna start knocking points off your board for the word demonic, right? What
chick is, she
you see?
She is a self-proclaimed. Okay. She spreads blood on her walls and human blood on her body.
You got blood in your body.
Say what?
You got blood in your body.
But no, man, Leroy. Again, I've asked you this question before. I think you're just trying to be. Hold your point. Would you invite this lady over for your house for Thanksgiving dinner with blood smeared on her body of other people? Would you do that?
Okay, so Jay had 100 people in that room. You focused on this one person. What about the other 99 people that were in the room?
She was prominently displayed in the video, and so she had a key featured part. Anna Imbranovich, I think is her name. Marina, I don't even know the lady's name, but she is a renowned person that has depictions of decapitations and blood and rituals. Let's just keep it a buck. If it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, it ain't a mongoose. This lady is a Satanist and she's demonic. Can't we just keep it real?
Who said that? Where is the evidence of that?
Again, Leroy, would you let this lady watch your children?
Well, I'm not letting anybody just watch.
I'm just saying. If you saw her on this is an app, right? I got little kids, and it's an app you can pick a babysitter. Would you? You my boy, and if I had a baby, I'm taking my wife out for a nice time in Atlanta on the evening, and
no doubt,
I said, Leroy, man, would you pick a babysitter for me? Use this app, and this lady popped up on the app with her name, as you know her name. Would you select this person for my children?
Well, likely I would send someone that I know personally to watch.
I'm saying you're using the app. So these are the conditions of the argument. You're using the app, and she's registered on this app to register, and you know this lady's name, and you know what they say about it. Would you select this person to watch my children?
Now I've watched this person. I've studied this person. I think she is a performative artist. So no, I don't think she's sitting around worshiping Satan. I think she's a performance artist. And I've seen other performance artists before her lifetime engage in these type of things, after her lifetime engage in these type of things. So when people make certain claims, I'm not always going to be on board because I study what I talk about. Right?
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But can I get a yes or no for formative artists or not? If you put the app and I trusted you to select, I said I'm in a real tight jam, Leroy, I need you to select the babysitter. Would you select this woman to babysit my children? Yes or no? Huh?
So no.
Okay, thank you.
Because I don't know her personally, so I have to say no. Right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is this, right? And I was doing a song with another artist, and we were thinking about concepts, right? And I presented a certain concept where I was personifying the dark, and the dark was arguing with the light because the dark has always been casted as evil. And I was saying, well, the dark makes it where you could see the stars at nighttime, right? So this was one idea. It was we discussed it for like 2 minutes. So it wasn't like a deep conversation, right? But what I'm saying is this: we need to understand what metaphors are. Since we don't have a knowledge of what a metaphor is, we are thinking things are demonic. First, there you had daytime and nighttime. Over time, nighttime started to get stories where people made stories about the nighttime. Over centuries and thousands of years, nighttime became evil, right? So now, in our mind, when we picture something evil, we picture a red man with horns, with a pitchfork, with a tail, and with hooves for legs. But we have never seen that. But we believe that that is the case. So, and I'm not mad at that. But since we don't understand what metaphors are, what mythology is, what allegory is, what performative arts is, we are thinking that someone is sitting around worshiping the devil. I highly doubt that that is what's going on. Now, does that exist? I'm sure it exists to some people, like some crazy people. But does it exist for people with actual careers that have been around for decades in performative arts? I doubt they're sitting around like bathing in blood, worshiping the devil. That's just me. But
Yeah, she has spirit cleaning, and
we are black folks, right? So when we listen to our grandma talks, what do our grandmas talk about? They talk about the spiritual world. So we should have no problem with the spiritual world because we come out of black households.
yes, I agree. But we're gonna get back to the music because people say we get into according to the occult. But I would not compare my grandmother to Marina Abranovich or whatever her name is. Let me get to the super chat real quick. Andre Miller says Drake never murdered a classic rap song. Now, that again, I would argue maybe he's murdered some songs, like 0 to 100, Miss Me, um, She Will, uh, even the song with Wayne and Ross. They used a Luke sample. Uh, don't stop, pop that. I mean, Drake's got verses. I mean, even a song with Mister Right Now with Metro and 21 Savage.
Now,
Uh, yeah, and Drake's got off. Drake's got busy. I can't say Drake ain't never got busy. You know what I'm saying?
but, dumb it down. The homie, he's saying I'm caping for the Illuminati. Again, I'm hearing a lot of sweeping arguments, like with the Diddy thing. Now people are saying, well, hip hop, well, black excellence must be terrible because everybody is Diddy now. So, and politically too, everybody is one person. So the Illuminati works the same way. Everybody's in the Illuminati. So again, give me a specific name so I can address who in the Illuminati are you talking to? Because if I asked you, who do you know in the Illuminati? You know zero. Who have you had a personal conversation with? You know zero. So are you talking? You're just talking without experience. That's not a diss. I'm not dissing you. But first, before you fear somebody, get in the same room with them and get face to face with them and ask them straight up, what is it that y'all up to? Then make a decision on whether you fear this person. Me, I've stood face to face with these people that you fear. So
Right,
I have stood and I've never sold out nothing. If
right.
anything, if anything, they're looking at their privileged children and wishing that they had a teacher that could tell them historical truths about the world, right? So, but what I'm saying is, stand face to face with these people that you fear before you actually fear them.
That is great, and that's a great point. And I would say I don't fear anybody but God.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
And
you do.
I don't fear anybody. I mean, I don't. My heart don't pump no fear. I mean, I have there's fearful situations, but I'm not afraid of any man. But I will say this: I was approached. Can I tell a story? Can I tell a story real quick? I
Mhm.
was in CVS one day, and this it's so weird. This
Yeah.
dude came up to me and said, I don't know what type of time this dude was on, because Ron is Ron. You know what I mean? I don't. And so it sounds kind of weird. This dude came up to me and was like, "Yo, man, we've been watching you for a very long time." I said, "Well," so yo, what you mean, man? He said, "We've been watching you for a very long time, and we think you can be part of the order." I said, "Yo, man," I said, "Look, man, I'm here trying to get some formula for my baby. You know what I'm saying? The natural formula or whatever, some diapers or whatever. I think I was getting some diapers. My wife was breastfeeding. So I'm just trying to get some. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. But I'm not on that type of time." He was like, "Yeah, we think you might be good for the order." I'm like, "Yo, nah, I'm good." He said, "We've been watching you for a very long time." It really freaked me out. So I believe there's some societies that do exist. But again, the story was I did not join whatever they were talking about. But it was like,
Right.
and I wasn't afraid. It wasn't like I was scared or anything. I just thought it was a weird
Yeah.
situation. I'm
I'm
getting
just saying.
diapers. I'm getting diapers, and my man said he's been watching this for a long time. I don't know what type of time my man was on. But yo, hey, you
I'm,
know,
I'm not saying you were personally in fear or nothing like that. I'm saying, as a general, I've been around our people enough to know when there is a fear there, because I can hear it in your tone. Our people, when they start talking about certain things, but then we're also gangsters, so we swing hammers, right? We gonna let it go, right? So I don't know what we're afraid of if we gonna let it go, right?
Baldy, I didn't sign a contract with the Illuminati. If I did, we would have 100,000 subscribers. I would have a liquor sponsor. Ciroc would probably be sponsoring the show.
You
We'd be peddling like erectile dysfunction pills. We would be hawking we'd be hawking like an energy drink. So no, we did not. Old Baldy, I assure you, we did not sign the deal. We're still at 18,000 subs. There's nothing that would make me sign an Illuminati deal. I'm not. I'm all about the upliftment of my people. But if the Illuminati did come to me and say, "Yo, we'll make you a deal. You have to make a sacrifice," I would probably select. And I had to select one of our people as part of our circle. I would say yes. I will sacrifice one person. And it'll be Old Baldy. I will sacrifice you, sir, to to.
but in all seriousness, in all seriousness, the reason why our culture fears these people is because it's been marketed to you to fear them. What it is they study black culture. And because they study black culture vehemently, and they have their children, they're white, Asian, Arab, Italian, all their children. I'm talking about the rich kids that go to these rich private institutions. They sit around and they're studying black culture, black history, black entertainment, black social constructs. So they don't want you to ever know that that's what they study, right?
No
And
doubt. No doubt.
they build companies off that and make billions of dollars. And because we as a people are afraid to step in these rooms thinking that they're doing some crazy ritualistic stuff, we'll never step foot in these rooms. So what I'm saying is, before we continue to fear these people, go to where they're at. Go to their lodges, step in the room. If you're afraid, then bring your gang with you, right? Step into these rooms and say, "Hey, I heard that you were studying black culture, that your libraries are filled with black books about black history. And since you have them and my community does not, I want access to them and I want those books back. And I'm willing to pay for them, or I'm willing to do whatever I have to do." How did I come into contact with certain orders, right? Because I have a background in helping the community at some point. So in teaching where time comes from. Now I don't mean time as the natural force. I mean the calculation of time. Who decided that 60 seconds makes a minute? Who decided that there are 365 days in a year? Who decided that there are 12 months in a year? Who did the math? So I did the math and figured out who did the math on that. Well, that opened the doors to invitations to certain orders because they are interested in intelligence, right? So, but what I found is they are interested in business, money making, The regular stuff that now whatever they do on the side and all the other bullshit, I'm not stepping into no rooms with no people that are not our people, okay? And kicking it out and doing nothing that people that I didn't bring through the door with me to watch my back, right? But what I'm saying is we lead with fear. We have to stop doing that. That's not helping. It's not helping. So before we get into the album reviews, I would just like to say that. And because people are doing it, well, Jay's an Illuminati. Let's take Jay down. Jay is actually a white man. He's not black. I've heard that argument too, by the way. So it's like we have to stop and start. We are fact-based people. We are people that before we got into just believing anything we hear with no evidence, we used to believe in evidence. That's what we used to believe in. Like back in the day when someone said they had something or did something, we used to be like, well, can you prove it? Now we're in an era where we don't even care about evidence and proof.
You know? Right. Well, let's get back to the music. Let's get back. I know somebody's asking what time the game comes on. The game comes on 8:15, 8:30. We got the Weapon X, as I call him, Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. It's going to be a great game. Great weekend of football. The Falcons and the Saints game was dope. Chargers and Chiefs game was dope. And then Georgia, Alabama was dope as well, man. But so let's get into some of this music real quickly, Roy. And let's go on that.
And we will. And lastly, I want the artists to be able to make a living and make their dreams come true. This is why I'm saying this. Behind me, you got two mythical figures that transformed into rivers, right? Streams. So if you're going to be in this business, I hate to break it to you. When you're doing these big promotional deals and these concert deals and these branding deals and these a lot of the people you're going to be sitting across the table from, they're not going to always be other black people. Hate to break it to you. So you have to get over your fear. Get over the fact where I'm a sellout. If I do a brand with Coke, it must mean I'm a sellout. No, it means you're doing, and I get it, and I'll be that caricature. I know.
Somebody said that to
me. I know. We need character so we feel better. I understand, and I'll be that, right? Because another person is going to be just a minstrel show in front of you. I'm not going to be that. Right. So to get into the music, right, where do y'all want me to go? I got into Jay for a minute and I got Consequence, which I'm gonna make musical arguments. I got The Baby and I got I'm gonna go into Ryan Leslie. But you want me to go to Baby?
Go to The Baby.
We go to The Baby. But these things are important, right? Because we are stopping our own selves from building our own industry out of fear of what we cannot prove. And I'm just tired of that. I'm tired of fear. Everyone is so afraid they won't do nothing. Stop. Get out of your fear bag and pick up your nuts. Right? Pause. Okay, so The Baby, his record. It started off. I think The Baby does have skill. I respect The Baby for moving on his own accord. Right? He does not appear to be, to me, somebody who is, and I thought he was maybe I won't say a plant, but someone who the industry was trying to use in a certain way. Over time, I'm seeing that no, I think this is just how he moves on his own accord. I respect that. I respect artists that move on their own accord, right? So his first song, In a Minute, I respect this bag, right? It gets into, and the album has to do with staying down. You've seen, and what I mean by staying down is a lot of us, we came up in a certain circle of friends, right? Certain people in our circle, they had dreams to do certain things. Some of us supported those dreams. Some of us fell to the wayside or lost contact or et cetera, et cetera. This album, at least the first half of it, not the whole album, but it has to do with staying down, right? Staying down with the crew that you came in with. And then if you leave the crew, instead of dissing the crew, and we've seen that play out here, right? Instead of dissing the crew, Go do what you got to do, and then bring that success or information or experience back to the people that you came up with, right? We are black people trying to come up in the game, and that's what a lot of the lyrics have to do with on In a Minute, right? So give me a reason. Do I really have to say what "Give Me a Reason" is about? All right, give me a reason. I thought that was a cool song. Carry It On. That was okay. Ain't That a Bitch? Again, that has to do with staying down, but also like the pride element, right? Sometimes when we have a falling out with people in our crew or in our family, we cannot apologize to these people because our pride will not allow us to apologize or come back and make things right. I think that sometimes that pride works against the betterment of the crew. So I do appreciate that kind of song, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because it lets me know that the baby is not just capable of just songs for girls. He can do some other things, right? And of course, I know a lot of you guys already know that, right? But it made me think of Ludacris, and Ludacris has an album coming up. His last album was Ludiversal, which I did like, but that baby and Ludacris comparison in my mind, it just made sense, and it made me think about that. So the album overall, of course, and then after that, he gets into his songs for women, the upbeat songs, to get down to, and I think those are cool. I thought the album was okay, but being that I'm in the space now, I'm gonna cover albums that have a certain level of impact, and the baby, he has a certain level of impact, and I just wanted to cover that. So I thought it was cool, but I'm anxious to hear the baby kind of go in a more serious route, um, at least on a real effort. It could be just like 10 songs because I know he can do it. When I heard certain songs, it sounded effortless, right? So I just know he can do it. And if he want to mix the hit records for the girls, that's always going to be an option that's there for him. So yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. So we talked about the baby a little bit. The baby, I always thought he was okay. Again, we have to do the tier episodes. I think there's some records that I've heard the baby spit on. I thought he was cool, but overall, I thought his some of his visuals were kind of outlandish, and I guess you can kind of gave him a comparison to Ludacris. I thought some that takes away from his appeal overall. I do appreciate that he's from the Carolinas. I have a soft spot for people from Carolina. That's where my people are originally from.
Yep.
And I want to retire in Carolina one day. I'm not gonna tell y'all where because I might pull up in my crib. You know what I mean, and try to do something. You know what I mean, but now I'm gonna retire. I'm a young man still, so I got a long way to go. But I'm gonna retire in Carolina. I'm either gonna retire in Carolina. Or I'm gonna retire in Florida. But I think I'm leaning toward Carolina. I'm gonna retire. But anyway, shout out
Yeah.
to the baby. I think some of his music's good. Some of it's not for me. But I need to revisit this album. I didn't have a chance to sit down with it this weekend because I've been engrossed in football. But I just I'll check it out this week when I get a chance. But let's segue to another artist. Method Man had a new song that dropped. What was your thoughts on the Method Man record?
Method Man. So the song that I heard is called Drug Plots featuring and Terminology and Inspector Deck. Inspector Deck is one of my favorite MCs, right? A lot of times rhyming, I've been compared to Nas, but Inspector Deck is also in the arsenal for particular reasons, right? Um, and his first album, Uncontrolled Substance, I thought was a good album. Now, granted, it's not up there with the Cuban Links or nothing like that, but I enjoyed it. But I heard a song from Method Man, and if you go into YouTube and you put featuring Method Man, and you go down into a number of the features he has been on, I mean, Method Man has been killing verses for a long time. So when we talked about J.Cole earlier and his run, it just made me think of Method Man. Method Man has a particular style. He has a way with metaphor that is probably one of the greatest with that. But so if y'all haven't checked out that song, it's called Drug Plot. It's a Method Man, Terminology, and Inspector Deck. Also, early Terminology. Going back to him, I did enjoy early Terminology music over DJ Premier beats. Fire. You know what I mean?
Yo,
But
I heard the record, and the record was dope, man. Method Man has been on a feature run for a little bit. I mean, that song, a lot of people don't know that Rakim feature he did was dope. And there was another feature that Method Man did that was dope. I forgot which one it was, but yeah, Method
yeah,
Man's always been dope in this feature game, man. I even like the back in the day that song with DJ Premier and Limp Bizkit was tight. You know what I'm saying? All in together now. So shout out to Method Man. Love to have him on the platform one of these days, kind of chop it up and kind of go from there, man. But Consequence had an album come out. What would you think about the Consequence joint?
Consequence. Now, I enjoy Consequence. I know a lot of people really don't listen to him or really don't. If they do, I don't know what they think, right? So Consequence has a new record. He's a protege or partner of Kanye West. When we think about Kanye West, we think about the lyrics that grab you off pop culture references. But a lot of what we do when we think about Kanye West is we think about the beats, the music, right? Is what draws a lot of us into Kanye West's music is the actual music, the beats. So when we think about when I'm talking about Consequence, I'm talking from that same perspective. It's a merging of the lyrics and the beat, but not so much to where, like, if we think of like a Nas, right? Respectfully, Nas as a lyricist, he can overpower the beat, meaning the lyrics will become so focused on and prominent that you can sometimes lose sight of the beat, right? Consequence, it's a very even merging of the beats and the rhymes, like a Rick Ross. His beat picking is very good to me. The album starts off with Can't Give Up. It's a very inspirational record. For artists out there that keep going, that have not reached where they want to reach. That motivation plays a part, man. And a record like Can't Give Up, beautiful record. No Apologies with Kanye West. It was dope. He didn't have a Kanye West verse, but he had a Kanye West. He was on the record, right? Just doing the hook. Bloodstain, Superstar in the Hood. If you've seen Superstars in the Hood, then you know what that is, right? A lot in the rap world, we've seen artists that didn't make it to the mainstream, but in the neighborhood, they were superstars. So that is its own world in itself. And it do a dope boom bap beat. The Chase, uh, dope again. It just the loops in which he's picking. Tribe Called Questish. His ear for the loops, the beats, the boom bap. Same thing on Love You So, and the hooks, and the melody, and the rhythm, right? So people are saying, and Free the Guys. That was a dope song. About your people that get locked down. Relationship Advice had Chris Rock on it. I thought it was kind of funny. Now people are saying, who's checking for Consequence? Again, I'm talking to hip hop heads. There are very few of us in this space. Most of y'all are just casual rap listeners. You're not hip hop heads, right? You're faking. I'm talking to hip hop heads. A hip hop head is, they don't care who's checking for what. They care about just the music, and they're going to hear the music whether people are checking for it or not. They don't need someone to be famous, right? And again, still here, your mother's a clown. Your mother is a clown. Okay. So again, they're checking just for rhymes and beats. So I'm speaking for them. I thought the album is for motivational purposes, just the sound. Again, I'm dealing with sound today, a lot of it. A lot of times we deal with just the lyricism. Lyrics to the side, even though I think he's nice as an MC. Is he one of the greatest? No, but he's nice as an MC. But musically, a vibe. Sometimes we got to get back into our vibe bag, right? And if you are a fan of Tribe Called Quest, then you should be able to hear what I hear when you hear these beats. So I enjoyed the album. if I had to give it a 5 mics or something like that, I would give it like a 3.5 or a 4. The or We'll go 3.5, but the structure too. A lot of it, as he has bridges, he has songs with one verse and the whole other time is just the hook part. He has so there are certain build up in the songs. Song structure, I think artists should, when you're doing your song, right? And this is a jewel. I mean, when you're doing your song, a lot of writers, you're writing your song full through from start to finish, and you're just writing it full through. Break your songs into sections where this 8 bars is this section, this 8 bars is this section, that 4 bar is this section. Break it into sections and write like that, and create different melodies, different harmonies, different cadences for those sections, and then record the song. So,
No doubt, no doubt. So we got into some new music. So this to recap for those who are just now joining us on the show. We talked about J. Cole's verse on T Grizzly's new song, Blow for Blow. We talked
mhm.
about Magna Carta. Was it, we got into some feature conversation, like who had the best features. Leroy's argument that Jay had the most impactful features. I argued that Biggie features had a little bit more longevity, but you can argue that I gave my top 5 feature artists. I said it was J. Cole, Drake, Little Kim, Biggie, and Jay, no particular order. We talked about the Consequence album. We talked about what else? We talked about the Consequence. We talked about damn, I'm getting old. What are we talking?
we
Consequence.
we
We
talked.
talked about Method Man, the Method Man, the new Method Man joint, and we talked about the Baby's new record as well. So this is the time of the night. I know everybody's watching football, but we're gonna
I'm,
open up.
I'm not. I'm not. I got one more. I got one more to talk about.
Go ahead.
Okay, okay. And someone mentioned Lupe teaching at the school. I think hip hop should be taught in schools because you're talking about art and business meeting together. And I think a lot of people in business look at business as art, and a lot of people in art look at art as business. So that's one thing. But one last thing I wanted to speak about was Ryan Leslie, right? Ryan Leslie I think, is a great artist. He was on Drink Champs recently. Um, he created a model with the super phone, which I think, because a lot of you are thinking you have to be famous to attain your rap dreams. I got news for you. No, if you reach people that like your music, you will not need you will not need the fame. Okay, you can do whatever you want to do without it, right? But he had 3 great albums that I bought from his site back in the day, and that was Less is More, Black Mozart, and Mozart. I think those 3 projects, I like trilogies of albums. Those were great records, right? But the thing about it, the video, his video for that, it was a documentary. I encourage people's music video, instead of being 3 minutes, sometimes maybe your music video needs to be 30 minutes. And maybe you need to shoot a whole movie about your album. Why not? Why not? Right? So there are a bunch of things I can get into when it comes to Ryan Leslie and just how his mind works. But a lot of the theme of this today's show was about the business, right? And and because people are saying, well, hip hop is on its deathbed, it's over, everything's over, we might as well just go home. It's a wrap. Hip hop's dead. Well, I'm not that quite ready to throw in the towel for hip hop yet. You know what I mean? So when the majors kind of collapse or scale back, um, I think that artists will be able to continue and have their own success. And if you kind of look at the strategy that Ryan Leslie and used, I think that would be helpful for a lot of independent artists in the future. So
No doubt, no doubt. Well said. Mad Max, welcome to the show, my brother. What's going on with you?
what up? What up?
Ron, your list is trash. Get J. Cole out that list,
Wait
bro.
a minute, man. Wait a
Get
minute,
out of
man.
here,
Wait a minute,
bro.
man. Why is my list trash? This
First
man got
off,
about over 45 features that I can kind of name. I got a
first,
list
off-
of 45
first, first
features.
off, I just want to read a part of J. Cole's verse. Right. This is J. Cole. Right. This is the great feature artist of his era, quote unquote. Cole said, L after L, I gotta laugh. Y'all look like James Todd Smith autograph. That's already trash. Maybe that's why your B dropped the math, go against the squad, get chopped in half. That makes no sense. That's freaking garbage.
Mad Max.
That's
Let me
garbage.
break it down. He said L after L, right? L after. Let me put J. Cole back on the screen.
L
L
after L,
after
I got
L.
to laugh. What are you
I
talking
gotta
about,
laugh
bro?
because
Talking about
they
James
catching
Todd Smith. We know who James Todd Smith is. That's not in a, that was whack. That
they
was
catching
whack.
L's. They catching L's. I gotta laugh. Your name's like an autograph, like LL's autograph. You know what I'm saying? It's dope, bro. It's dope. You missing
Cheesy.
it. You missing it. You're not.
Cheesy.
It's not
That's
connecting with you.
trash.
Mad Max.
That's trash.
Max,
And
you
what does any of that have to do with? That's why your squad gets chopped in half. Come on, man. That was whack. That was whack.
you may be the hardest fan to please in hip hop, but
Well,
you like Playboy Cardi. Okay, so I gotta take your opinion. You like Playboy.
I like Playboy Cardi in doses, but
Okay,
meaning I can tolerate him on a certain couple of records,
right.
but I don't listen to Playboy Cardi all day. We talking about J. Cole and this nonsense. Look, and plus he did this to himself by doing that move he did. Cause I used to shoot bail for him, but nah, that was whack. I'm sorry, that was whack. That song was whack. Ain't no way J. Cole's top 5 all-time feature artists ever. How?
All right, so Mad Max. Okay, since you don't like my list, what's your list? That's why that's what I like to do. That's why we opening up these discussions. I came off with top five off my dome. What's your top five feature list
Well,
of all
clearly
time?
we gonna throw in the sadist himself, Biggie Smalls. We gotta throw in the
Okay,
sadist.
okay, all right, all right.
We gotta throw in my son Kiss, 16 bar God, no blasphemy. Um, we gotta throw in Method Man. We gotta throw in, weird ass Buster. Hate to say Buster, but we
Man,
gotta
that's
throw
not
Buster. We
weird
gotta
at
throw
all.
we fake gotta throw Buster in there. We do gotta throw Buster in there.
We know Buster got to go in there. It's
Yeah,
no.
Buster gotta go in there.
Man,
And
please,
then the
man.
fifth one, I gotta think about that. There's a couple names we could go with. I gotta think about that one. But if we
You
just
want to go
going
with
by the
Hov?
last era, oh nah, 50's in there before J. Cole.
But you feature verses, you got 50 in it. I mean, I never thought about it, so I'm not saying you're right.
Well, 50 does hooks too.
Yeah, but okay, but we're talking about the feature verses. Are we talking about the hooks and the features, or what do we? You
So
know what I mean?
it's not just feature artists, because
So,
then I might have to take Method Man out.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. I just never really thought about.
All right. If you take,
Let's
all
say
right, I hear what you're saying. I'll take 50 out.
what's some of 50
I'll
Cent's
take
features? Let's think.
I'll take 50 out and replace him with Redman, because Redman is a cipher king.
It. Okay,
You put him on any posse cut, he's gonna body it.
right.
So I'll
But
take 50
man,
out for Redman.
so Jay's not anywhere. And did you have Jay in there or no?
I didn't want to be basic and say Jay, but Jay has a lot of I don't think Jay's. I don't know. Jay has some good features though. He has good features.
He has some
He
good features.
he has no. He has good. He has great features. He's Jay Z, but I didn't say
Probably
Nas either. I didn't say a couple guys. I didn't say
like
Pac.
all the
Oh,
rappers.
DMX low key is up in my top 5. Hold on.
Yeah, but features though. I mean, we're talking about features. So if
Yo,
DM,
he body your man's on volume 2 on that feature.
okay, so I mean, but if you have to keep counting him though. I mean, if he did that one or two times, but and I don't agree with that. But if he did, how many times did he do that? I mean, he got to do that for like 25 years. DMX do that for 25 years.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. It don't matter who we put at. You can put Jay in my 5. I don't care as long as we understand J. Cole is not in the 5. J. Cole is not even better than Drake on features. I saw somebody say Drake never bodied a classic rap verse. I mean, excuse me. I remember Stay Scheming. It bothers me when the guys get to acting like the broads. Drake had people quoting his line on his verse all year. Kobe,
Right.
my it hated had to be him. Kobe. But I lose 150 M's. Well, come on, stop it.
Nah.
Stop it. Never body no classic verse. Cut it out. And on Pop That, he bodied that too.
I
Stop
mean,
Yeah,
it.
he body popped that. He body popped
yeah,
that. He body stayed sweet.
2009, 2010 Drake outside, we know that was a problem. Like if Drake was on your song, he was bodying that. Like we know that. So come on now.
Plus, even if you take it out, like you got Andre 3000. He got some
I
good
mean,
features.
Wayne feature game is better than Buster's. Let's be for real, man.
Ah, yeah. Stop it, Lil Wayne, bro.
Wayne
Let's be
has
Stop
for
it.
real. Mad Max, keep it a buck, man. You
I'm
know
not
Wayne.
keeping it. I'll keep it in a. But I don't like Lil Wayne, bro. I don't like him. So
I
I
think
told.
yeah. Look up Buster's features. Go everybody go look up Buster's features. That list is insane. Okay. Now Wayne is also insane too. Like I can't take nothing away from Little Wayne. I got both of them on the list, so I'm not losing there anyway. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know.
No, still here. I'm not saying Drake is top 5 all time. I'm just saying
No,
Drake has better features than J. Cole. That's a fact. That's not even debatable. That is a fact.
that's a fact.
You know what I would like to see. I know still here for won't. I would like to see
Oh,
Collins.
Raekwon.
I would like to
But
see. I would like to see T2 Judgment Day. I want like this whole show would be. I want like a real live debate between Still Here, Leroy, and T2. That would be great
Yeah.
television.
no, I'm disrespecting them straight
No,
up.
no,
And I wouldn't do that to nobody else. They
no.
come on the show, I'm disrespecting them and everything about them, their family, their kids, their mother. I'm disrespecting them. And
What if they came? What if they came in respectfully and they said, "Okay,
the is it's certain people. Only violence is the only thing that can make this go
let's just
away.
let bygones be bygones. Let's just start over."
Will be no bygones, okay? Because for the simple fact is, you know, I know that there's trolls, but when you troll for like a year, like you have to get a life. Now I know your life is probably trash, and that's why you're mad. But you know what I mean. But I dare you to come on the show. You know what I mean. But anyway, everybody else, you're open to come on the show. I'm willing to hear anybody else. You know, but certain people, it's no peace sign with me.
So you guys really think L after L I have to laugh is a good bar? I just want to
I
clarify.
think so. I thought it was tight. L after L, I have to laugh. I thought he delivered it. I mean, what? I
Yo,
think
come on, son.
I think he's being real critical,
Come
my
on,
man
son.
Jermaine Cole right now, and you know, I think he's being real, real critical of Jermaine Cole right
I mean,
I
to go
deserve to be real critical of Jermaine Cole after he ducked out like that.
right, but I think that when he did duck out, but I think he keeps delivering these verses. I honestly I never thought people cared about him battling Kendrick. I think that is only an internet argument. I think the minute you go in the street, nobody cares about J. Cole battling Kendrick.
I
That's
don't
just
think
my own personal opinion.
I don't think people. I'm not gonna say they didn't care about him battling Kendrick, but the thing that it's just it's this is hip hop. This is a cardinal sin in hip hop. You don't duck out of battles, bro. This is what you have to do. Like I don't understand how dudes like we just make new rules up for new dudes. Who the
Okay,
hell is who is J. Cole to go against tradition? You have to
okay.
battle. Stop it.
So Lupe has challenged every rapper, and no, and to this day, we have still not got a challenge to Lupe. Buster has challenged every rapper to a versus. We still have not got that challenge. Game has challenged every rapper. We still have not got the answer to the challenge. So rappers do be ducking battles. Let's be clear,
No,
okay?
but what you well Game has had battles, so we can't use him. We
Yeah,
can't use him. And to your Lupe and Buster point, that only makes sense if somebody accepted the challenge, went out there and made a song, and then ducked out. Like that's we've never seen that before. Like I heard about Rakim and Kane and how they kind of made subs to each other, but they quieted behind the scenes.
right.
But they was both willing to step in that ring and get the battle done. They just ended up talking it out, so he never got that. That's totally different than you go making 7-minute drill and deciding, yo, it doesn't sit right in my spirit. What are you talking about, man? Get in
Okay,
there and battle. What are you talking about?
okay. So Andre 3000, because you just mentioned him, recently he was on a podcast and he said, you know what, battling other rappers is really not in my spirit. I like writing songs. So what about him? Like sometimes battling is not in your spirit. So what if J. Cole, what if battling is just not in his spirit like that?
That's
Like Andre
that's that
3000.
that's fine, but again, you can't go out and make the diss song.
Okay, yeah.
Has Andre 3000 made a diss song? Because I've never heard him do that.
But Cole did make the diss song, and then he was like, you know what? It just doesn't feel right. I mean, I get that we respect. It's like battle rapping, right? Like I respect the art of battle rap. Do you know that of like 99% of the other fans don't care about that at all? Like I'm in the minority with that. You know what I mean? I am not in the majority.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
no, but it's just come on. And what makes it even worse is this dude says my birthday. I got my mans looking at me like, yo, your Cole really made you look soft. I had to yoke my mans up. I'm like, yo, you know it. If that was me, I'm shooting smoke. Don't ever say that to me again. J. Cole got me looking crazy. Nah,
I,
he's getting smoke for me forever. Forever. I'm on him. I'm on pause. He's
No, I get it. I get it. Like for those that's really about that battle life, I understand. But we gotta know that a lot of these rappers, I would say the majority of them, they're willing to battle rappers that they know they're better than. But are they willing to battle rappers where it's a question mark? I would say probably 85% of them would duck out.
that's most people. I agree with that.
Yeah,
That's
you
most people.
only battle someone you can beat. You're not gonna battle someone that's gonna. You're not gonna battle Game because you know Game is not gonna go down off an easy bat. Like he's gonna keep firing. You know what I'm saying?
I
These,
hear you.
yeah, it's same thing in the street. Everybody wants to fight until it's that one huge guy that shows up. Now they don't want to fight. Now they don't want to fight now. So you wanted to fight everybody else until someone who you don't think you can beat showed up. Now you don't want to fight no more. It's the same thing with rap too. Like these dudes want to battle up until a point, up until a certain rapper comes through the door. Then all of a sudden the battle talk is not what it was. You know what I mean?
Still, still here. I love you, but I can't agree with Nas body J. Yeah, I gotta stop doing with the body talk.
Yeah.
If Nas body J, or if you're saying J body Nas, then you're basically saying that battle was whack. That was
Right.
a great battle. That's arguably a top 3 battle in hip hop. I can't say Nas body J, especially when I think both of them got their shit off. I
I
think
think
Jay got at Nas, and I think Jay got at Nas and put Nas in a certain corner where Nas had to, really
yeah.
get deep in his bag to get out of that. I wouldn't say nobody bodied each other on that.
Body, yeah, body is I think
To me, a
50
body's a little too far.
yeah, I think 50 Cent body Ja Rule. Now did
Yeah,
Nas
that's a
body
body.
I don't know. But when we speaking on that though, now you made me lose my train of thought. But no, I don't think it was. I think it was like if J. Cole battles Drake, I can almost guarantee you that people are going to say J. Cole won, no matter how it plays out, no matter what the lyrics are, no matter what is said, no matter what is done. Because if they don't say that J. Cole won, then people are going to say you're not a real hip hop fan. So that was the dynamic in a lot of cases with Nas and Jay Z because there were people that weren't fans of Jay or Nas. They didn't like Nas either, but they were like, well, Nas won. It's because by picking Nas, you get to stand on I'm real hip hop. By picking Jay, what you're saying is I'm standing on mainstream. That's how people looked at it back then. It was mainstream versus real hip hop. So that played a huge now lyric for lyric, bar for bar. I don't think it's a clear body like that. Like no. I don't think it was clear like that. Anybody saying it was, yeah,
I mean, I got Nas winning the battle, but
yeah,
Jay-Z did say some bars. I mean, like to me, a body is like, like you said, 50 Ja Rule. Um, that's a body. Like that's embarrassing. But I can't really think of another one off the top of my head. But that's a body. I don't put Jay-Z versus Nas as a body.
I think
That's a battle. If you want to say there's a clear winner, then yeah, I don't think it's a body. But
yeah, a body to me is where you keep going to the point to where the other person just bows out. That's a body to me. If you just stop battling, because who said the battle was over? All of a sudden, they just stopped firing at each other. I'm talking about Jay and Nas. But who said the battle was over? They should have kept going until someone basically just bowed out. Now, what happened is these two guys are just grown. So as men, they went on to do. They got other shit to do besides battle each other. But it wasn't no like it. No one kept going. Like Nas didn't keep firing. Jay didn't keep firing. They just stopped. So with 50 and Ja,
no, yeah, game bodied me. I remember that.
yeah, 50 kept firing. 50 dropped 50 disc records. So clearly we see that there's a body. But Nas didn't drop 50 disses. You know what I mean? So is it a body? You know what I mean? So, in the court of public opinion, which is if you get into that, the person that represents real hip hop versus the person that represents commercialism, the latter is going to lose just off the strength of that merit. You know what I mean?
I
Regardless
mean,
of the bars.
I
You
mean,
know?
but still here, Ether won. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying it's not a body. Cause I listen to Takeover, I listen to Ether. Like they're both like pretty good. It's
They're
not
both.
like they're
I thought
both like really good. And
funny.
plus, I like the Blueprint too. I like the Blueprint too. This is to Nods even more than than Loki. Some of them Ether disses. I'm sorry. And the little homie Jungle just a guarded to me. That was hilarious. I'm sorry.
I thought Ether was funny. Now maybe now everyone was taking it so serious. It sounds like Nas is being funny. I did not take Ether as like a serious. I thought Nas was joking. Like so I thought it was respectfully. It sounds like Nas is joking to me. It doesn't sound serious. So
Now Nas was on his slick Rick shit. He was like, "Oh, let me pour out the ashes on these niggas, make them bow down, kiss the motherfucking Rick." That was hilarious. Yo,
yeah,
Nas is kind of funny. I ain't gonna hold you.
but I mean, and this is back in the day is one thing. I think now if you're in a battle, you got to keep firing your weapon. Lupe was in a battle with Royce of 5'9". I mean, Lupe continued to fire songs. If you look around on the internet, Lupe was still shooting. Like it didn't just stop with SLR3 where people thought it stopped. No, Lupe was still firing. Like there were
Right.
other songs out there. There were other freestyles. He's going in on Royce. He went on Royce for like a week straight. Monday, Tuesday, every day he dropped something new. So and it's out there. You just got to know where to look. But he completely like went crazy. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right, right. Right now, I just think people need to get album mode. We want to hear music and less battles. To me personally, I like the battle. I come from the battle culture, right? I come from the battle, MCs battling back in the day. But now I just want to hear some music. I want to hear some albums, man. It's at some point we got to make some music. We got to put out an album. All your songs can be either subliminals or direct shots at one guy. You got to make some. I want to hear some different. I want to hear a different perspective from you. That goes for Drake too. I want to hear a different perspective. I don't want to hear subliminals in all your songs about my man. Just make some records. Let's have some fun. Make you a classic.
we can do both.
Let's just do that. You know what I'm
We can
saying?
do both. You know what I mean? I thought your man was gonna fire a diss record this way. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to eating, but that record never came. You know what I mean? But
Oh
you know what I
no, no, no. We would I got a
mean?
special I was told not to drop this episode. I got if that record ever drops, I have a special episode ready, chopping up all the stuff that's crazy dude said, that's contradictory, that doesn't make any sense, that's kind of funny and laughable. That episode's in the ready.
For it. I would say go for it. If you any records aim this way, go for it. If you feeling yourself that much, please, by all means, go for it.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says Wayne has great features, but he does not have a feature better than Busta's Scenario, Flavor in Your Ear, or Annie Up, or Look at Me Now, which Wayne was on also, but his verse was forgettable.
Wayne is on a lot of features where his verse is forgettable.
Jermaine Johnson, that's a really, really good point. That's a really, really good point. That's a really good point. I need to revisit my argument. I still was put Wayne slightly ahead of Busta, just because he has so many features, man. Duffel Bag Boy, he's got so many features. So many.
I think I'm gonna say my 5 again. I'm gonna go with Redman, Kiss. Who's other? Redman, Kiss, Method Man, Busta. Who do I have at 5? I know somebody had at 5. I got to think about 5, but those are definitely the 4 in there. Kiss, Redman, Method Man, and Busta. They're definitely the 4 in there. You could throw in Andre. Lil Wayne is definitely not in the 5. Like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Lil Wayne, he had a run, man. Lil Wayne was outside for a while. We're talking about the mid 2000s, Wayne. So when we look at that time period, he was doing a lot of features.
You got Motivation with Kelly Rowland. You got I'm just taking throwaway joints. So I'm talking about throwaway joints. I'm talking about the song we did with
Biggie. That was the other guy I was thinking about. Biggie.
You got his song, his verse on Pop That was dope. You got
he didn't even have the best verse on Pop That.
He didn't have the best verse on that. You got Miss Me with Drake. I mean, he's got a lot of records. You got the song he had with one. He snapped on that joint. What's that song he snapped on? What's that, my man? The R&B cat, Avant. The one that Jermaine Dupri did. Not Jermaine Dupri, but Ryan Jonta Austin did this joint. You know what? It's a fresh out the G4, you know some info. Weezy, Weezy got off where Weezy got features, man. Let's not kid ourselves here.
He definitely got feet. I think Busta has a certain voice and brings a certain
Lloyd joint. I think Wayne had a joint on the Lloyd joint.
Let's keep it funky with Lil Wayne is like, Monte Ellis. He's like Allen Iverson. He's a volume scorer, meaning he just throws a whole bunch of material out, and some of it is hot. Like like that doesn't. Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
But that takes a skill to do though. Like the amount of material, not so much right now, but back in the day, like again, them early, the mid 2000s, they were saying that like Lil Wayne wasn't leaving the microphone, like he was just standing behind the mic. He was just constantly recording, sit down, sleep, wake up, recording. That is some different level of, of output. You know what I mean?
Song they flipped that Chubb Rock joint, that Mary J. Blige, Swiss Beats. What's that joint called? Forgot the name. Just Right remix. You know what I'm saying? Wayne got off on that joint, man. Wayne,
But how many of these guys? But Lil Wayne, I don't understand how he gets a pass too, because people get on Future for constantly dropping and all this stuff. Lil Wayne has literally started a trend where, well, I shouldn't say he started it because Pac Fake did it in the 90s, but where you could just drop a massive amount of music and not filter out the trash. He just puts everything out.
That's hard to do. I mean, well, it depends, because some people can just naturally do that. But for you to, like, if you drop 100 features in a year's time, that's difficult to do. Now, I don't know if Wayne did 100, but I wouldn't be surprised around in between 2006 and 8 or 5 and 8. I wouldn't be surprised if Wayne did 100 features in one of the years. Now, that's kind of crazy, though. You know what I mean? Now, you're not filtering, but then is Wayne the type of artist that really needs to filter, though? Because Wayne is like, He's just barring up. It's not like it's like look at that verse he did on Magic 3, right? It's not that he's driving some conceptual point home. He's just barring up. Like, so does he need to filter if he's just barring up? You know?
All right, let's check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Okay. Not complex, Hip Hop DX, Elliot Wilson, just recently, I think back in July 31st, 2024, published the Lil Wayne's greatest guest features ranked. So let's just go through Elliot Wilson's list, who's somewhat of a hip hop authority, historian, someone who's been in the game for a very long time. Number 25, he has Corday featuring Lil Wayne's Saturday Mornings. Okay.
Trash.
Number 24, he has Rhapsody featuring Lil Wayne, Raw. That verse is okay. Number 23 is Big Sean, came out in 2015, called Deep. Okay. Young Thug, number 22, featuring Lil Wayne, Take Care, 2014. Stand Up, T.I. featuring Little
You ain't named
John.
one classic song just yet, Ron.
We're at 21. Elliot Wilson's at 21. T.I. featuring Little John, Trick Daddy, Lil Wayne, Stand Up from 2004.
Classic can't be the metric in these debates. Classic cannot be a metric because how many records are classic overall? That's basically one record out of every 500 records is a classic. So that can't be the metric.
Let me keep going. Number 20, Tyga and YG featuring Lil Wayne, Brand New. I don't know about that one. 19, Benny the Butcher featuring Lil Wayne, Big Dog came out last year. This year we know Big Dog. Big Dog was dope. I ain't gonna front. Big Dog was dope. Number 18, J Rock featuring Will I Am and Lil Wayne, All My Life in the Ghetto, 2008. 17, The Game featuring Lil Wayne, My Life, 2008. Number 16, Rick Ross featuring Lil Wayne, Trick Daddy, Luxury Tax. That verse was cool. 15, Rick Ross featuring Lil Wayne, Thug Cry, 2014. Damn,
I mean that's a lot of verses right there, bro. Like that, we're just if it's about quantity, and I don't like quantity arguments, but sometimes quantity arguments work though. And in Wayne's case, I think the quantity argument works because he just rapped more than everybody.
And again, this list is Elliot Wilson's. This is not according to hip hop. This is Hip Hop DX, Elliot Wilson. Number 14, Outkast featuring Lil Wayne and Snoop Dogg, Hollywood Divorce from 2006 on the Idlewild soundtrack. 13, Tyler the Creator featuring Lil Wayne, Hot Wind Blows, 2021. I don't know. Number 12, Fat Joe featuring Lil Wayne, Make It Rain, 2006. Number 11, Birdman featuring Lil Wayne, Always Strapped. Now, I do like that. So now we're starting to cook up. So this is the top 10, according to Hip Hop DX, Elliot Wilson, top 10 Lil Wayne features. Number 10, Lil Wayne on Nicki Minaj's Seeing Green with Drake. I don't know about that one. Number 9, Player Circle, Duffel Bag Boy from 2007. Number 8, Pop Bottles with Birdman, 2007. Number 7, The Motto, Drake featuring Lil Wayne.
Motto, really?
Yeah, The Motto. The Motto's on it.
Trash.
It went, bro. The Motto kind of went.
Number
The Motto,
6,
the song went. That was not a great feature.
Number 6, I had this on my list. Miss Me, Drake featuring Lil Wayne, 2010. I'll Be Gone till November. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. Number 5, Lil Wayne, You. I think I said this one, 2007. Yeah, since 2007 is when he's starting to cook up a little bit. Number 4, oh, this is not a good one. This is not a good one for my argument. But Elliot Wilson says number 4 is Destiny's Child featuring T.I. and Lil Wayne Soldier.
That's not fire. The Soldier.
It's kind of dated. I don't really like that record like that. It was cool.
Fire? Come on. That was fire. I mean, if we're looking at it now, it's like, okay, but back then when that record dropped, I'm walking with purple hearts on me, body marked up like the subway in Harlem. Like, bro, like that song went, bro. That song.
For the time it did, but years later.
Destiny Child.
I would give him that song.
Like Destiny Child went.
I would give him that song.
Okay, like. We got to go, and
even though T.I. probably had a better verse than him, but
now one sidebar I want to make is people are saying Jay-Z wasn't was really affected by Ether. I'm gonna talk about American Gangsta at some point on this, not this show, but on a later show. I think Jay comes from a world where a rap verse really doesn't hurt. I think the world he comes from is a different level of violence. So rapping, I don't think is a problem. But back piggybacking off that into when people have Beyonce arguments, I'm gonna go back to Destiny Child to remind people how big Destiny's Child actually was when they make Beyonce's argument. Okay, so that's for a later date.
Later date.
Ron,
We'll get
continue the list because you have 4, right? So continue the
the
list.
top 3 Lil Wayne feature verses of all time, according to Elliot Wilson of Hip Hop DX, published this year in July of 2024. Number 3. Yeah, I guess you can count this. Back That Ass Up, Juvenile, featuring Manny Fresh and Lil Wayne. I guess you can count that. I guess you can count that.
What's next?
Number 2, BG, featuring Birdman, Lil Wayne, Manny Fresh, Turk, Bling Bling. I don't know.
How many bling bling? Yo, I'm sorry.
1,
this is not top 5.
Yeah, I think Elliot Wilson's list is not correct. I think I need to do my own list. This list is not. I don't think this list is correct. I think there's a lot of things missing on here. You got Don Cannon, the Cannon song with DJ Drama. I think you can say that. I mean, there's a lot of records on here that's not on here. Number 1 is DJ Khaled featuring Akon, T.I., Rick Ross, Fat Joe, Birdman. We Taking Over. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You see, and this is why I said Lil Wayne ain't top 5. Even if you can make a better list than this, he's not top 5. I'm sorry. He is not top 5 feature artist of all time.
I'm not feeling this list.
If Elliot Wilson were to make a list for Busta Rhymes, you already know his top 10 is better than any song he wrote for Lil Wayne just now. His top 10, every song is better.
Cause that song he did with Chance the Rapper and 2 Chainz should have been on here. I think his verses was dope on that.
Got Corday on the list. You didn't even put Pop That on the list.
Pop That could have been.
Didn't put Forever on the list. Ain't people talking about how Lil Wayne went off on Forever? I mean, come on.
Look at me now. Could have been.
Right. Oh, hold on. Somebody said something about American Gangster. We're gonna get into about. I'm making the argument that may be the greatest gangster rap album. If there are other gangster rap albums, then you can bring it up. But go ahead, y'all.
No, American Gangster sounds like the show that I've been watching since Friday night. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the show. No. I thought the show was really, really good. I was very surprised. I kind of binge watched it on Friday. My wife and I got like 6 episodes in. This show is really good, surprisingly so. It sounds like American Gangster. It sounds kind of that, it's based in like 1970. It's a really good series. I think Kevin Hart did a good job. Don Cheadle, Terrence Howard, Taraji, Samuel Jackson, David Banner's in this joint. If you haven't seen this, this is really, really, really good. Good television.
I'm just saying like this, right? We've heard a bunch of gangster rap albums. A Shine album came out. There was an anniversary for that, maybe like a week ago or something. Shine, the rapper that was on Bad Boy. We've had a bunch of gangster rap albums, so it just depends on how you look at it, right? Now there are 2 ways to look at it: the Hollywood side of what it means to be a gangster, a rap side of what it means to be a gangster. But for people that have, if you meet a boss type figure, right? A lot of times in the street, when you actually meet the person has always been there in the neighborhood, but you never knew it was that guy because it was always wasn't the loudest person. So you always like, this is the boss. Like I would never put that together because he'd been quiet. But I'm just saying, that element rings true. That element rings true. And I'm just saying is, a lot of times when you hear gangster rap albums, they talk about what they do. I did this. I did that. So since I did that, it makes me gangster. American Gangster is not really saying I did this or did that. He's saying the circumstances behind certain things created my psychology. And I think that's a different way of look. And I think that approach makes it a great album. You know what I mean?
Isn't American Gangster just a mafioso album?
But yes, but what I'm saying, at the top of the food chain, meaning for people that are really have met the bosses, there is a certain mafia type ethos or aesthetic to them, because to not get caught, they weren't the loudest people. Like, they weren't the most, like, the guy in the street that's always in trouble. Like, every week his name is circling the block. That those guys normally ain't the top of the food chain as far as gangsterism is concerned. Now, again, I'm not
No,
trying to
I hear
hype,
what you said.
but I'm just saying that rings true with that actual album. Like, like there's certain levels to the street, and if you keep climbing a certain level, you're gonna start meeting the top guys. A lot of them guys, they weren't the loudest guys in the neighborhood. Like, a lot of them, you never even heard their name. By the time you meet them, you're like, I didn't even know this person was even like that until I got the information that he actually was. You know what I'm saying? So
But I mean, but if you count an American Gangster, and it's wouldn't you have to count Reasonable Doubt? You think American Gangster is
yes.
better than Reasonable Doubt?
Yes, only because I think people are looking at like the rhyme aspect of, I like the way Jay is rhyming on Reasonable Doubt, which I can't knock that argument. If that's the argument people want to make, I'm not going to knock that, because it's rhyming, right? He's rapping his ass off. But I think in American Gangster, it's the matured level of that, to where, okay, like, if you listen to Reasonable Doubt, you could hear the paranoia. Like, he's stepping outside and he's kind of paranoid about what the consequences may be. In American Gangster, he's found a way to deal with his paranoia. Like, he's found a way to manage it. So I
Well, I mean,
think that
okay,
that's
okay.
an
I
yeah,
guess I
that's
gotta listen to American Gangster again then.
American
But
Gangster's American Gangster's a solid record. It's one of Jay-Z's best. I can make an argument it's top 5 Jay-Z album of all time.
yeah,
I don't know about all that.
I mean,
yeah.
because
I mean,
I would
yeah.
say I got. If I'm just off the top of my head, I got the Black Album in there, Blueprints in there, Reasonable Doubts in there, and then I would say, um,
I'm
hell,
gonna
you got to
keep
put American Gangster in there, and then you got to maybe put.
no.
It's,
I'm
American Gangster is better than Volume 2, in my opinion. It's better than
Hell, no,
Volume
no,
3.
stop it,
It is better. It's
Ron.
better than Volume 2. Volume 2
I'm,
had
I'm
what?
not gonna lie to you. Volume 1 through 3 is better than American Gangster. Taking Reasonable Doubt. I'm taking the Black
No.
Album, and I'm taking the Blueprint. That's 6 albums I'm taking before American
I
Gangster.
got no
Stop
issue.
it.
I got no issue with none of that. If people like other records from Jay better than that, I got no issue. My thing is, in rap overall, aside from Jay-Z, a lot of our gangster rap albums are saying, I'm gangster because I did this. American Gangster is saying, okay, let me start from day one and walk you all the way through my whole life. So at the beginning, you hear him, he's in the house. His dad leaves to go find his uncle's killer. Dad never comes back the same. And then Jay is on the block and he's seeing certain people acquire money, and he's trying to talk to girls, and then girls are saying, well, we're into money. So, and then he has a chance maybe to consider college, but he has a pool between the streets in college. So what I'm saying is, Jay creates backstory. It's not just, I'm a gangster because I'm tough. That's not what American Gangster is. Like, Jay creates a whole backstory as to how he got into the life. And I haven't heard that in a lot of gangster rap albums.
Let's do this before we get out of here. We're gonna end the conversation. We get Mad Max back in here. Hold on one second. Let's end the conversation with some a comparative analysis. Let me pull up my notes real quick.
Now,
And
Ron, before you say that, because somebody said Volume 3 was trash. I'm sorry. Did y'all never heard Snoopy track? So
And
ghetto. It's hot. Like, I mean, stop
there's
it. That album is not trash. Y'all gotta stop.
there's some joints on that album for real. There's been a murder, So Ghetto,
Big
So Watch,
pimpin'.
NYMP. There's some records on there, so You know,
Even the interludes.
come and get me was a diss to Nas. Come and get me. He's saying to Nas, "Come and get me." Like you're really about that.
No,
Like
that's
that
one of
was to
them.
Nas. You know what I mean? Dope Man was a powerful record, and that flew over a lot of people's head. For people talking about the conscious Jay Z, he's there on Dope Man. You know,
I
but
let's do
mm,
this. Before we get out of here.
Track
Let's
is
do this
not
real quick. Let's
trash.
let's do this real quick. Volume two. Volume two had the intro with Memphis Bleak on it. Had Hard Not Life.
Hard song.
If I should die, uh, Ride or Die. Had Jigga What Jigga Who, song number 5. Money Cash Woes number 6. A Week Ago, dope. Coming of Age, dope. Can I Get a Paper Chase? Reservoir Dogs, It's Like That. It's All Right, and Money Ain't a Thing. Uh,
I think the weakest part about that album is its beginning, and then at a certain point, it picks up. No, I'm just saying if you want to compare the album to
yeah,
other like that volume 2, the weakest part is probably its beginning, and then it picks up at a certain point. But I just want to say, if people want to say volume 2 age like milk, the Kendrick Lamar fans let him get off whack ass starts on his albums all the time. With his albums with his mid ass starts, and then
I
don't pick up till the second half.
yeah.
But okay.
I can
you get an argument out of me on that one, Mad Max. So let's look at American Gangster real quick, and let's run it down. Let's run it down. So you had the intro, you had Pray, you had American Dreaming, Hello Brooklyn, No Hook, Rock Boys, Sweet, I Know, Party Life, Ignorant Ish, Say Hello, Success,
yeah.
Fallen, Blue Magic, and American Gangster.
I mean,
I don't know.
there's a storyline through there too. There's a
I
thread through all them songs.
I
Yeah, it don't
was
have the big records like Volume 2 had, but this as a cohesive body of work.
Volume 2 was the money record. I think we all know that record was designed to sell millions of records. I mean, we kind of know. Do we all know that? We know that, right? I mean,
we know
Yeah,
that, but
money
I
Mad
record.
Max,
think
I got
I
Mad Max, I
think
got to disagree with you, brother. I think American Gangster as an album, as a body of work from start to bottom, is a way better album
I
than
think a
than
lot of
Volume
those
2.
songs you was talking about on American Gangster are 3.5 to 4 mics. I don't think it has one 5 mic song on there.
On
Who,
I
Rock
think
Boys,
Volume
Party Life?
Two, what?
You
on
said
a, you're
five.
saying American Gangster, but first of all, I think we're comparing two different albums. I think Volume 2 was Jay saying, "Look, Russell, I think I'm worth $100 million," and Russell Simmons saying, "Okay, well, prove it." And then Jay is saying, "Hey, Puff, I think I can sell out a tour like you can sell out a tour." And Puff saying, "Okay, well, prove it." So then Jay is saying, "Well, here's Volume 2." I think that Volume 2 sounds like I'm going on tour to make $100 million. That's what Volume 2 sounds like to me. American Gangster sounds like, okay, like you guys say that you're gangster. Let me actually tell you about what being gangster is like.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, Leroy. I'm just saying, even if you take the two different perspectives that Jay Z has on those two albums, he made to me more 5 mic songs, more classic songs on
Yeah,
Volume Two than he made on American Gangster. A lot of times we just go with the because it's a solid album. We say it's a better album, and that's not to me the case. Volume 2 may have some valleys in it, but its peaks are damn near better than anything on American Gangster. I mean, Money Cash Woes to me is better than any song on American Gangster. It's not even close. No,
right.
no
But
disrespect.
the mission, if I'm telling you, okay, the mission, it's like Blueprint 3, right? The mission is to sell 10 million records. Well, then the songs are gonna sound different. Like the songs are gonna be more poppy because I'm straight up telling you what the mission is. I think Volume 2 is like, yo, I'm going to sell 5 million records. So I'm gonna hand you pop sounding records because that's the mission. You know what I
No, I,
mean?
I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying let's just say American Gangster and Volume 2 both completed their mission. I'm not saying American Gangster didn't complete its mission. I'm just saying the songs on American Gangster They're cool. I like them. I like them for the most part. I like
Right.
Sweet. I like my favorite joint on there was always Blue Magic for whatever reason. I like Ignorant Shit. I like Rock Boys. Those are nice songs. They're nice,
Right.
but it's not when a week ago come on, when a Money Cash Woes come on, like
I mean, her
those are
songs
like,
too
oh
are
my god, like I it's just a genius level to them
like,
that I just
yeah.
don't feel on American Gangster. I think American Gangster has its genius, but it's just cool.
American Gangster is for like Reasonable Doubt was only for the block. It was never supposed to hit the. It was not for the music industry. Do y'all know that Reasonable Doubt was actually for the block? And Gangster and American Gangster is kind of like a part two of that. I think Volume Two obviously was to shake the world up. Like I'm going to shake the entire planet with some music. So I think that's a totally different approach. Like people
I
are
mean,
saying, well, Volume Two, Age Like Milk. Well, if you want to make an album that shakes the planet, you may want to make some music that ages like milk, since that's what you think. You know what I mean? Because
but people
the
always saying everything aged like milk. I mean, they say that
is
a lot.
Thriller. Volume Two is Jay-Z's Thriller, meaning I'm going to make a record to shake the entire planet. You know what I mean?
And I see you brought up Reasonable Doubt, but even if you compare Reasonable Doubt
Yeah.
to American Gangster, I'm gonna just keep the same point. Doubt has more classic, like it has more five mic songs on there. Like dead, there's no Dead Presidents 2 on American Gangster, and that's what I mean. There's special songs
I mean, I think,
that American Gangster just doesn't have, and to
but
me,
yeah, I'm
a
not mad at
special song matters.
no, I'm not mad at that approach either. If someone says that
Full of
Reasonable
special
Doubt is
songs.
better, yeah, if someone says Reasonable Doubt is better, it's not like I'm mad at that opinion. Like I'm with you. I'm not mad at that opinion. I tend to think American Gangster is more of like a movie to me. But if someone says Reasonable Doubt is better, I'm not going to be mad, because even Reasonable Doubt again, but at that time in 96, gangster records were okay, I'm a gangster and I'm invincible. That was the approach. Reasonable Doubt sounds like I'm not invincible. Like when you listen to Reasonable Doubt, it doesn't sound like Jay is invincible. It sounds like he knows that he can be killed. So that's a totally different approach. You know what I mean?
I mean,
No
yeah,
doubt. No,
I feel you.
Yeah.
no doubt. Well, we got into another discussion. Let's look at the poll real quick. I put a poll up and we got not many votes. I think American Gangsters winning 67% to 33%. So, Mad Max, you're wrong once again.
I mean,
But anyway,
this chat does not. I don't trust they posted in this chat, because if you were to put American Gangster and Volume 2 on a global world stage of Jay Z rap, for just everybody to vote in the world, Volume 2 is not losing that, bro. It's not.
No,
People, it's not losing that.
no.
well,
Respectfully.
we can go track for track. We need to go track for track one of these days and just play them. But it's all good, man. It's all good. But anyway, we got a
Here,
football game to get into. I know we got to get out of here. It's I got to get upstairs and make sure I don't get relegated to the couch again. So I got to make sure I got to get out of here. We've been on for 2 hours and 12 minutes. I think we've cooked up enough. Mad Max, final thoughts tonight, brother.
Final thoughts is J. Cole is not a top five feature artist of all time. And to the young cats out there, you can't just duck out of battles. If you're gonna put a record out in battle, I don't give a damn if it conflicts with your spirit. You're gonna have to sell your soul then. And I say that facetiously, because I don't like people selling their soul. But no, you don't just duck out of battles. That's not what men do. The man is too old to be ducking out of battles. They're 40. Talking about, like, they're sitting right in my spirit, and that's my man. Or you slap your man, you get into a little kickboxing match, you throw in the gloves, you smack him around a little bit, and then you say, let's go out to the store and go get something to eat. What are
Mad
you
Max.
talking about?
Mad Max, you said he was 40. Ain't too many 40-year-olds that want to be in a battle. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting
I
you
hear you, but you can't just put the record out. Just don't put it out then.
know.
You don't
Okay.
want to battle.
Yeah, I didn't like how J. Cole moved in that, but hopefully the fall off will redeem himself with that. But Hey, it's all good. But he's been dropping some good feature verses. Again, we can do another debate another night about where he stands in the top features of
Yeah.
all time artists. I still got him on my list. And again, as always, Mad Max, your list was all right. But Leroy, what's your final thoughts for the
My
night?
list was the best list.
My whole thing is, I think, well, I hope I talked enough about the sound tonight to make some kind of impact when it comes to a person's sound, their branding, and just know that you do not you do not have to reach everybody in the world to be who you want to be. What you're trying to do is just find the people that rock with you. That's it. If you can find your core base, that's it. And like, even if people are gonna say, "Well, your music ages like milk," hey, that's okay. If you look at Ryan Leslie made a point about In the Club. He said, when I heard the beat and I heard that all it was doom 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 doom. When I realized how simple it was to just impact the world like that, it lets you know that this is not always rocket science. And that's why he came with the Cassie record. Do, 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 do. When he realized it wasn't rocket science. Sometimes you just got to find your sound and find your core audience. That's all. You know what I mean?
That song was trash. Anyway,
In
no,
the
I didn't,
club
I,
was
didn't, I
trash.
didn't like the beat on that. I really didn't like Cassie as an artist. I
I
didn't like.
mean, yeah, we're talking about R&B, y'all, but I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying that
Oh, you
that,
talking about
that
that
one
song?
record though, that one record, I can only imagine what the checks look like when them royalty checks come in. It has to be something completely ridiculous. Like,
It's probably crazy. It's probably crazy. But anyway, we had a great discussion tonight. As always, shout out to my guy Leroy Green. Shout out to Mad Max. Shout out to Mike D checking in from afar, from a remote location. We are back at it again tomorrow night on Mike Check. Also check in. We might check in tapping in on Wednesday. We got some things coming up later on in the week. Got some big interviews lined up. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Again, please hit like and subscribe. It's very, very important that we get to the 100,000 followers. We have a check that's waiting to be released to us so we can do the first annual According to Hip Hop Festival. It's very important. We don't want to do a GoFundMe. We don't want to dig in my pockets because I don't have it. I only got like $10 to my name, and I can't afford the festival. You
look,
know, I don't,
but Rondo, if we went that route, people would laugh and all that. Oh, look at them asking for money until the actual bag came through. Until they found, oh, people actually do support with money. Once they see that happen, though, they would think differently about, because once people are a fan of you, and I want to encourage artists, stop saying your album is $9.99. Just have a note. Just say, just don't even put a cap. Say you appreciate whatever people are willing and to pay. And when you see that people are willing to pay $100 for an album, it's gonna
right.
make you move a little different.
And right now, what we're asking for you is really, really free, guys. All we need you to do is hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. We'll continue to make our content better, make our conversations better, uplift the conversations, and continue to do it in the name of hip hop. We need you to tell a friend, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get notified, and get us to 100,000 so we can have the big festival here in Atlanta. Or we may have it in Miami. We don't know, depending on the
I'm gonna get it
depending
there.
on the situation. Either be Miami or Atlanta. We'll have this festival. But anyway, we're ready to have it. And go watch the game. I think Josh Allen's going to come back. He's in the hole right now. It's 14-3 Ravens. But I think Weapon X, the man in Buffalo, will pull it up. Hey, guess what? And Madman, thank you for tuning in. Yes, we're not Mike and Coop. It's a different show. Coop has another show, and we're not falling off. Actually, if you look at our numbers holistically across Facebook, X, and YouTube, because we track more metrics than others. We're at higher levels than we were when Homeboy was on the show. So may not
Well,
reflect on
Madman hated Coop, so
yeah. So that might fall up. If you wanna if you wanna if you wanna if you wanna join the show as a producer, please drop us an email. And no, man, we don't really count the 38 viewers. We have viewers on other platforms as well, so it doesn't.
How do you look in the mirror and know that you're a hater and you're all right with that? Like you know that you're a hater in real life and you're cool with, like, bro, like, if one thing is this, if you don't like something, go somewhere else. Like, don't,
I don't. But
yeah,
Leroy, you don't have to say all that because at the end of the day, Matt, I remember Madman. He used to hate Coop, and Coop had to go at Madman. That's when Coop would go on his Kanye West
I,
rants. So I don't even know why he's just trying to joke on y'all. Like don't take him serious.
And it's okay. Again, we're not. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We don't
like,
really, we don't. I don't really care. I
it's,
only answer because I just don't want contaminants contaminating the water supply. Right? We put on the show. I sleep on the couch. My wife puts me on the couch to do this show 2 or 3 times a week for y'all, because according to hip hop, because we built this platform for us to have conversations, have meaningful conversations, and so I do respond to trolls now and then. And so there's a way that we can elevate a conversation. Sure, could we go back and do things better? Sure, and we will do that. But you're still tuning in, man. We appreciate it. So
yeah.
it's
I
all
mean,
good.
if you say something intelligent, I'll probably respect your comment if you say something intelligent. But if you, for those few of you that's been hating for like a year, you've been hating on me for like a year and nothing's changed for like over 6 months. At what point do you give up on your hate? Because ain't nothing changed, nothing moved, and you know I'll slap the shit out of you in real life. So relax. But y'all have a good night, man. I'll see y'all on Wednesday.
Good night, man. Shout out to Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. We're gonna make it happen. Shout out to Georgia. Hang tough. We're gonna get them next year, man. We're still gonna get to that championship game. All right, y'all have a good night. Hit like and subscribe. As always, according to hip hop, this is Ron. That's Mad Max, Leroy Green. Peace.
Peace.